There will now be an opportunity for silent prayer or meditation. May we be seated? Once more, let me take this opportunity and welcome our honorable members to this hybrid sitting, which is conducted through the Microsoft Teams platform and whereby some members are in remote attendance. This hybrid sitting is conducted in terms of Rule 3A of our standing rules, referred to as Rules for Sittings of the House and Meetings of Committees by Virtual Means. Honorable members must, however, note that our rules and orders are still applicable during the proceedings of this virtual sitting, and we are therefore called upon to adhere to them. You are further requested to remain in attendance for the duration of the virtual sitting unless a formal apology to leave the sitting has been duly tendered. The Secretary will ensure the provision of technical support throughout the sitting. Honorable members, all microphones must be muted and the video must be turned off when a member is not speaking. When a member intends to speak, please click the icon to raise your hand. Once you are recognized by the speaker, please unmute your microphone and turn on the video to introduce yourself and speak. Statements by members. Are there any member statements? Honorable Shongwe.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Somlomo lo hloniphekile. Siyinhlangano lebusako i-ANC. Sithanda ukuxwayisa imiphakathi yonkana ngenkampani mbumbulu yekutshala imali letinyamalele tebantfu ngasesigodini saseGatisbanza. Le nkampani mbumbulu leyatiwa nga-Mr. Colin Africa iheha abasebenzi bembuso ukuthi batshale imali tabo khona batozuza ngalokuphindaphindiwe. Ishaye yachitha ke netimali tebantfu lapho beyikhona emahovisini ayo eDonald eLukwatini eMelo naseCarolina. Ngakho ke sithanda ukuxwayisa imiphakathi leminye esigodini sasehlanzeni enkangala nasebuhlabelo ukuthi bayicaphele le nkampani. Siphindze futhi sixwayisa nemalunga emphakathi ukuthi nawo phela asayekele akagweme kuheheka kalula ngilaba tshali timali labangekho emthethweni. Ngakho ke siyanxusa nemaphoyisa ukuthi anonophale ende liphenyo masinyane kude banikati bale nkampani babanjwe bavalele ejele. Sebadlule netimali tebantfu labadlula ku-5,000. Ngakho ke sikubona kuyi crisis lana eMpumalanga. Ngiyabonga.
Honorable Shongwe.
Somlomo, ngiyazwakala Somlomo.
You are audible, Honorable Shongwe. You can proceed.
Thank you, my speaker. No, nami ngiyabonga lesi isiphakamiso lesiphakamiswa ngumhlonishwa ubekile nesolution ukuthi abantu bakithi abapheze ukungenela izinto ezibonakala zibaheha ezinobungozi phakathi kodwa ke ngiyathemba ukuthi amaphoyisa under the leadership yamama uLieutenant General Manamela la Mpumalanga angeke badabule uzobafuna abathole kodwa ke umphakathi njengoba asho umhlonishwa awusilekelele ungatholakali ungene ezilingweni ayikho imali yamahala lamhlabeni yonke into iyasetshenzelwa siyabonga.
Honorable Mahlangu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The African National Congress wants to applaud the Department of Basic Education, together with its provincial department, for intensifying its delivery and monitoring of construction projects to deliver safe and appropriate school infrastructure in schools. Honorable Speaker, Sanitation Appropriate for Education program was launched in August 2018 to provide appropriate sanitation facilities to schools dependent on basic pit toilets. The Accelerated School Infrastructure Delivery Initiative was also launched in 2010 to address the specific infrastructure backlogs in schools. Speaker, we also want to encourage the Mpumalanga Department of Education to urgently step up the monitoring of all the above-mentioned infrastructure projects to ensure that they are completed on time, and we are confident that they will achieve their annual performance plan targets and that their full budget allocation will be utilized in an appropriate manner. I thank you.
Honorable Shongwe.
Yeah, siyabonga kakhulu umhlonishwa somlomo nge-statement esiphakamiswa ngumhlonishwa ngiyacabanga ukuthi u-MEC we-education sizamforwardela sona as a leader of government business abuke yonke into angayi-attenda nokuyilungisa kuloku akushoko la enza kahle khona aqhubeke enze kuya phambili ngiyabonga mhlonishwa somlomo.
Honorable Nyembe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. May I greet the leadership in the House as well as our guest. May I take this opportunity and apologize for our chairperson, who is at the Gati family at the present moment. Honorable Speaker, I rise on behalf of municipality. Honorable Speaker, a municipality must structure and manage its administration and budgeting and planning processes to give priority to basic needs of the community and to promote the social and economic development of the community. My worry, Honorable Speaker, is how will Msugalika local municipality achieve that as the squabbles for No. The mic is on and off. So, which means there's no recording of what I'm saying. It's a sabotage. What must I do?
Honorable Nyembe, can you please proceed?
I'm starting from scratch. Honorable Speaker, I rise on behalf of the economic freedom fighters to raise a member statement about Msugalika local municipality. Honorable Speaker, a municipality must structure and manage its administration and budgeting and planning processes to give priority to basic needs of the community and to promote social planning and to promote the social and economic development of the community. My worry, Honorable Speaker, is how will Msugalika local municipality achieve that, as the squabbles of power has taken the center stage? They have forgotten that they were elected to serve the community. Honorable Speaker, we have the elected Troika and the acting Troika, which was put in power by the North Korean Council. The Section 80 committee, which is elected by the acting Troika, is also acting. What is more disturbing is that political offices are locked at the municipality. There is no communication. Service delivery and planning is done through WhatsApp. There's a total shutdown at the municipality. When one of our own councillors passed on, there was no memorial service. As the municipal manager reports to two mayors, the elected one and the acting one. Actually, who is driving this sinking ship? The entire community is suffering because there's no decision makers. Power has taken over the service. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Shiba.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me greet you as well as honorable members. Honorable Speaker, what is said by Honorable Nyembe, Honorable Speaker, we are trying and we are assisting that municipality. We have seconded an acting MM in that municipality, Mr. Lisa, a very experienced one. He is assisting that municipality, as well as we have received a report from that municipality in terms of the motion of no confidence that was passed to the previous Troika, Honorable Speaker. So the recent Troika that have been put in place is assisting that municipality. I would also check what Honorable Nyembe is saying in terms of the offices that have been locked. But Honorable Speaker, if the previous Troika, it's not handing over formally what is supposed to be handed to the recent Troika, I would also advise the recent Troika in terms of the council, because the council need to have an ad hoc committee to deal with the issues that have been raised, especially to the previous Troika, if it's the one that have locked the offices. But we are trying our best, as well as that previous AM is assisting a lot in that municipality. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Stoller.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker, and greetings to the House. I rise to deliver a member statement on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. Honourable Speaker, there's a Section 106 forensic report in the matter pertaining to the investigation in Emalahleni local municipality in terms of Section 106(1)(b) of the Local Government Municipal Systems Act 2000, Act number 32 of 2000, which implicates Honourable Njali Njali in unlawful activities during her tenure as mayor
of Emalahleni Local Municipality. Further noting that despite the Section 106 forensic report being concluded last year in November, this never saw the light of day. It was never tabled in council. Further noting, Honourable Speaker, that the report states clearly, and I quote, that the Emalahleni Local Council must report a criminal matter to the SAPS against the former Emalahleni Local Municipality Mayor, Ms. Njali, in that she unlawfully adjusted remuneration packages that resulted in a financial loss of approximately 1.498 million from 1 March 2018 to October 2021, close quote. Honourable Speaker, the DA would like to get answers from the MEC for Kokta, Honourable Shiva, on the following. Why is this report hidden? Why is it that it was never tabled in council? And when will the report actually be tabled in council? Honourable Speaker, the DA would like to also call on the MEC as head of local government. Is she going to adhere to the report's recommendation that criminal charges be laid against Honourable Njali for unlawfully adjusting these remuneration packages during her tenure as Mayor of Emalahleni Local Municipality? I thank you.
Well.
Honourable Shiva.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. The matter is sub judice. I will not be able to be in the position to deliberate on it. Thank you very much.
Honourable Makaringe.
Honourable Speaker, I rise to render a statement on behalf of the ANC in appreciating the Honourable Premier with the MEC for Education, who launched the provincial e-learning program at Ubuhle Buzile Secondary School in Mkhondo Local Municipality. The launch coincided with the reopening of schools and the deployment and delivery of 6,700 teacher laptops and 55,000 learner tablets, preloaded with software and e-content and data ready for offline use. Honourable Speaker, these devices are for grade 12 learners in quintiles 1, 2 and 3 schools throughout the province. Each grade 12 learner will also receive free data monthly to enable easy access to the education e-content. The initiative will definitely revolutionize the delivery of education in the province, as it is inspired by national and international standards, which the province has set during digital era. It will also improve teaching and learning process to the level of contemporary 21st century standard. It is against this background that the ANC appreciates such a remarkable initiative by the Premier and the MEC for Education and will continue prioritizing education. I thank you.
Honourable Shongwe.
Honourable Speaker, ngibonga kakhulu isishukumiso esiphakamiswa ngumhlonishwa uMakaringe. Nathi as a provincial government and all institutions and authorities that are proud of his service delivery, to join the honourable member by appreciating the good work done by the Premier as well as the MEC for Education. These accolades of a good work in the province, I think all of us as honourable members, we will be ambassadors, of sending this good achievement to the entire people of the province and all the sectors that are appreciating a good work done by our government in the province. Siyabonga kakhulu Baba Makaringe. Kuyafuneka ukuthi kungabi ngaso sonke isikhathi ukugcekana nokubekana amabala, but la kwenzeke khona into enhle siyibonge. Siyabonga mhlonishwa speaker for ithuba.
Executive statements. Are there any executive statements? Motions without notice. Are there any motions without notice? Honorable Shongwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The ANC would like to move a motion without notice for this House to pass condolences and sympathies to the Gadi family on the loss of their beloved daughter, Hilary, who was found dead around Wat River on Tuesday. And we want to say their pain is our pain. And we must request the law enforcement agencies, especially the police, to move with speed in terms of arresting the perpetrators. Such people have no place in our society and they must rot in jail. The scourge of gender-based violence must be defeated, and this government will leave no stone unturned to make sure that its rules are uprooted. Real men do not kill, but they love and protect their women and children. Emaphoyisa akasendele ifavor, especially thina bomama bakulesifundza, bafune letigebengu, batithole, batibophe, tahambe tiyofela ejele. Ngiyabonga.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agreed to?
Agree.
So agreed.
Agreed.
Honorable Mashilo, sorry.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move a motion without notice on behalf of the ANC to extend an appreciation to the Department of Agriculture through its Food and Agriculture Organization Farmers Field Program, where 5 projects in Nkomazi are the first to benefit. The programs aim to augment the level of service rendered by the Extension and Advisory Services Officers to smallholders farmers, noting that through the aforementioned program, the Makochela vegetable project in Mbuzini, Vugubone project in Kahoy, Makokeni Fortune 40 irrigation scheme in Block A, and Sehambe Sonke project in Piva received the production inputs, water harvesting equipments, garden tools, and teaching materials during the program's symbolic launch in Block A. Further noting that the Farmers Field programs aim at directly engaging with the farmers on a regular basis to teach and equip them with the required skills on how best to grow from subsistence farming to profit-making business. Farmers Field School program started in Indonesia, the rice-producing farmers. In South Africa, it has been rolled out since 2016, most notably in Limpopo, the Northern Cape, and now in Mpumalanga. It is supported by the National Department of Agriculture. On this basis, the ANC would like to impress upon these houses to appreciate the good work done by the Department of Agriculture and call upon our communities to take advantage of programs such as this one, since agriculture is one of the key economic drivers in our province. I so move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agreed to?
Agreed.
Are there any motions without notice?
Manzino on the platform.
Honorable Grobler.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I rise to deliver a motion without notice on behalf of the Democratic Alliance. Honourable Speaker, as the Democratic Alliance, we would like to appreciate or send our appreciation to the Honourable Lakshmi Narain and the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport for finally listening to the masses of the province by prioritising the fixing of the roads between the Blyde River Canyon and God's Window. It should be noted, Honourable Speaker, that there are still a lot of roads in the province that needs attention, and we acknowledge that Honourable Lakshmi Narain and her department are currently doing a lot of progress to fix the major routes in the province. We know that this province is a province of tourism, and tourism stimulates our local economies, and therefore it's pivotal for our province to have good tourist roads. Honourable Speaker, we further know that the COVID-19 pandemic really ravaged our province and our local economies, and we would therefore like to acknowledge the work that has been done by this department. Further noting, Honourable Speaker, that this department is also in a great position to have locals employed, and that we would like to urge them to use locals when fixing these roads. I therefore want to move, Speaker, that proper monitoring should take place of the projects to fix our roads in specific our tourist destinations. We need to monitor these projects to ensure that we get rand or value for every rand that is spent, that projects are fixed in time within the limits of spending, and that the scope of work is done, and that we have a good quality of work. I so move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agreed to? As so agreed. Honourable Mlombo.
Honourable Speaker, thank you very much. Honourable Speaker, I rise on behalf of the African National Congress to move a motion without notice that is made in terms of Rule 83 to further the object of Rule 4. Honourable Speaker, I, Fana Vincent Mlombo, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, move a motion without notice that the House notes that Honourable G.A. Mofokeng moved 2 notices of motion on the 1st of March and 18th of March 2022 regarding challenges in certain schools within the province of Mpumalanga. Further note that Rule 89A, dealing with the guidelines for the notices of motion, provides that, I quote, notices of motion shall lapse 6 weeks after the motion was, in fact, the notice was given. I therefore move, Honourable Speaker, that the House adopts a resolution in terms of Rule 4.1 to suspend the provision of Rule 89A and allow the 2 motions that were raised by Honourable Mofokeng to be debated in this August House. The motion on the Mpuluzi matter should in fact be debated in today's sitting, and the other motion to be debated in a subsequent sitting that will be determined by the Select Committee on Programming and Prioritization. Honourable Speaker, I so move.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion. Agreed to?
Honourable Speaker, if we know a confused office, it's the office of the Chief Whip. Because, Honourable Speaker, he made calls to us, and we agreed that today we will debate the motion about the safety of schools. What is written on papers and what he is telling us now is totally different. So we cannot be misled here. We prepared for the safety of schools, not what he is telling us now.
Honourable Speaker. Do you want me
Honorable
to respond?
Mlombo.
Honourable Speaker, yes, I think it is true that I communicated to my colleagues in the opposition desk, and it is also true, Honourable Speaker, that the order paper was circulated to honourable members timelessly, and that honourable members were informed by the content of the order paper when they prepared their debate to this House today. But despite that, Honourable Speaker, the two motions raised by Honourable Mufokeng, they interlink. They all deal about the safety of children, the transport of children. So there will be no train smash in terms of what they have prepared, because they all deal about the safety of our children in schools. Thank you.
Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion agreed to. Then the motion is defeated. Are there any motions without notice?
Manzini on the platform, Speaker.
Honorable Manzini.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise to move a motion without notice on behalf of the African National Congress for this House to congratulate the ANC in Mpumalanga for successfully convening its 13th provincial conference that took place at the Malahleni local municipality with Dam from the 1st to the 3rd of April 2022 under the theme Defending the Gains of Our Freedom Through the Renewal and Unity of the ANC. Noting this was the first provincial conference of our movement since the COVID-19 pandemic, and in the same breath, we would like to congratulate the newly elected Provincial Executive Committee led by Comrade Mandla Ndlovu. Further noting that the ANC would like to congratulate and send...
Honorable Manzini.
Yes, Honorable Speaker.
Can you please take your seat, Honorable Grobler?
Thank you, Speaker. I'm truly sorry. I just couldn't hear the first words of the motion, and it's very important. I couldn't hear if she said African national criminals. Is that what the MEC said? Just as a correction. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear, and I can't approve the motion because I thought she said African national criminals. She wants to congratulate the African national criminals.
We want to hear it.
I just want to hear. Please, Speaker, thank you.
We want to hear it. Say it. Say it.
Honorable Manzini, I will give you the opportunity to start with your motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I said the biggest movement in Africa, which is the African National Congress. Further noting that the ANC would like to congratulate and send well wishes to the provincial chairperson of the ANC in Mpumalanga for being sworn in as the member of this August House in strengthening the work of the ANC in the legislature and bringing a better life to the community of Mpumalanga. I so move the ANC in Mpumalanga is strong and better and bigger in all our region, and we are ready to take on anything. I thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
The question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion.
No, Speaker, we cannot condone these lies. We cannot. It's lies,
The
all
motion
lies.
is defeated. Yeah. Notices of motions. Are there any notices of motions? Formal motions. There is a formal motion standing in the name of the Chief Whip of the majority party.
Honourable Speaker, thank you very much.
Sorry, Honourable Mlombo, I did not see you on the notice of motion. You can proceed.
Honorable Speaker, noting that the provision of Rule 17.1, which states that the legislature shall ordinarily sit at its declared precinct, but may resolve to sit beyond its declared precinct. Should I wait?
Honorable Mlombo, that will fall under formal motions.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Are there notices of motion? Then we'll proceed to formal motions. There is a formal motion standing in the name of the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable F.M. Lombo. I now call upon the Chief Whip to formally move the motion. Over to you.
Honorable Speaker, thank you very much. I'm back. I rise to move a formal motion, noting that the provision of Rule 17.1, which states that the legislature shall ordinarily sit at its declared precinct, but may resolve to sit beyond its declared precinct. Further noting, Honorable Speaker, that the legislature has, in line with its constitutional mandate, resolved to intensify public involvement and oversight by taking the legislature to the people. I therefore move, Honorable Speaker, that the House adopts a resolution in terms of Rule 17.1 that the legislature conducts its business at Dr. Pixliga Isakaseme local municipality from the 9th to the 13th May 2022. Honorable Speaker, I therefore move. Thank you very much.
I am informed that there is no debate on this table motion. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the motion as moved by Honorable F.M. Lombo. Agreed to?
Agreed.
As so agreed. We'll now proceed with the orders of the day. Orders of the day. The Secretary shall read the first order of the day.
Order number 1, election of the Deputy Speaker in terms of Section 111 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa.
Honorable members, due to a vacancy in the office of the Deputy Speaker, the position of the Deputy Speaker has become vacant. Section 111 of the Constitution, read with the Rule 6 of the Rules and Orders, compel this House to elect one of its members as a Deputy Speaker. In terms of the rules for the filling of a vacancy in the legislature, which were published in accordance with the provision of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, the returning officer, Mr. M.A. Shabangu, and the assistant returning officers, Mr. J.M. Modipane and Advocate P.M. Mdluli, have taken an oath before me, declaring that they will faithfully and impartially discharge their duties for the filling of a vacancy of a Deputy Speaker, and that they will treat the information regarding the process as confidential. In electing the Deputy Speaker, the process provided in the rules of the procedure for the election of the Deputy Speaker of the Provincial Legislature, known as the rules, approved by the Chief Justice and published in the Government Gazette in terms of Item 9 of Part A of Schedule 3 to the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, 1996, will be followed. The process is as follows. Firstly, I will call for the nomination of candidates for election as Deputy Speaker for the Provincial Legislature of Mpumalanga. Secondly, I will call for a supporter of the nomination. Thirdly, I will ask if the nominated candidate accepts the nomination. The nomination must be submitted in the form prescribed and must be signed by the nominator, supporter, nominated candidate. I will call for further nominations following the above process until all nominations are exhausted. If only one candidate is nominated, I will declare the candidate elected as Deputy Speaker. If more than one candidate is nominated, I will call for a vote by way of secret ballot, with each member having one vote. After voting, the votes will be calculated, and I will declare and announce the candidate who has received the majority of votes. We shall now proceed with the process of electing the Deputy Speaker following the process articulated above. I now call upon the nomination of the first candidate for election as Deputy Speaker. Honorable Hlophe.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I am Honorable Hlophe, hereby nominating the name of Honorable Tabete to be the Deputy Speaker of Mpumalanga Legislature.
I will now call upon for a supporter, Honorable Shabalala.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I, Cynthia Kabisile Shabalala, second the name of Honorable Jeanette Tabete to be the Deputy Speaker of Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature. I thank you.
I will now call upon Honorable Tabete whether to accept the nomination.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I accepted the nomination of being a Deputy Speaker of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature.
Malibongwe.
Balibongwe.
I will call for further nominations following the above process. I now declare that Honorable J.L. Tabete is duly elected as the Deputy Speaker. Congratulations.
Balibongwe.
I now call upon the Honorable J.L. Tabete to make a brief acceptance speech, not more than 3 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. It is with great humility and a deep sense of honor that I accept position of the Deputy Speaker of the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature. I promise that I will never betray the trust that you have bestowed in me. I wish to take this opportunity to thank my organization, the African National Congress, and its alliance partners under the leadership of Comrade Mandla Ndlovu, our chairperson, for trusting me and entrusting me with this enormous responsibility to be the Deputy Speaker of Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature. I further wish to express my sincere appreciation to the honorable members of the August House for the confidence that you have placed in me. I am aware, honorable members, that this position comes with a great responsibility. It is, therefore, my submission to this House that I won't disappoint you. I pledge that I will work together with the Honorable Speaker, Umama Slela, and all presiding officers to ensure that the rules of the House adhered to and the decorum of the House is maintained at all times. Lastly, I wish to thank my family, the Mtambos family and Tabete's family, especially my lovely daughter, Ayanda Tabete, and immediate community for their unwavering support since I joined the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature as a member. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Secretary shall read the second order of the day.
Order number 2, snap debate on Freedom Day.
I have a speakers list in front of me. I will call upon the Honorable Lachminarain. Honorable Lachminarain, you are given 4 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Madam Speaker, Honorable Makosazana Masilela, Honorable Premier, Merifilwe Msweni Tipani, Honorable members of the Executive Council, Honorable members of the Provincial Legislature, the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, Honorable Fidel Mlombo, heads of departments, ladies and gentlemen, all protocol observed. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the African National Congress, allow me to firstly convey our sincere condolences to the Gadi family for experiencing a horrific and gruesome killing of their daughter, Hilary Gadi. As a young woman and a patriotic South African, I am truly ashamed to be part of a society that can do such despicable acts under the face of democracy and the rule of law. May her soul rest in peace. Freedom Day marked the end of apartheid rule and oppression, which terrorized South Africans for decades while robbing their identity and socio-economic opportunities to develop and sustain their lives through meaningful programs. On the 27th of April, 1994, when all South Africans marshaled to the voting polls, there was overwhelming consensus around the world of what the country needed to do in order to change things around. Celebrating Freedom Day is all about celebrating the country's history and honoring all those who fought for the liberation of South Africans. While we have various rights and freedoms as enshrined in our Constitution, it remains important for us to consciously live each day fully aware of the consequences of our action in pursuit of serving our communities. Today, after 27 years of freedom, we can live wherever we choose to, stay at any hotel we choose, eat at any restaurants of our choice. All this at the expense of the lives of men and women who were driven by a vision of democratic and free South Africa. We must continue to safeguard the gains of democracy at all costs. This would mean that we must understand the needs of our communities, protect our constitution and the rule of law, and provide consistent service to them without fear or favor. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, Dr. Nelson Mandela once said, when he articulated the significance of leadership under the advent of democracy, and I open quote, "What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead." Close quote. I thank you.
Honorable Nyembe, you are given 4 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we are gathered here today exactly 28 years since this country attained its freedom. Honorable Speaker, we meet today under the dark cloud that exposes the injustice, weakness, and failing system of our freedom. Our hearts are heavy and filled with so much grief and sorrow following the gruesome killing of Ms. Hilary Gadi, the daughter of the first ever EFF Secretary General Godrich Gadi. Sad but true, Hilary Gadi, just like many other women in the country, is just a victim of a failing government and a malfunctioning system that can't protect women and children in the country. May her soul rest in peace, and those of all women who have been failed by the system rest in eternal peace. Our prayers and thoughts are with the families of the victims. Honorable Speaker, allow me to sadly and boldly say that our people have not yet tasted the fruit of freedom. As long as our women and children continue to be murdered like flies, for as long as the land still belongs to the minority, for as long as the economy is still in the hands of and controlled by the settlers who are friends with the ANC and their president, Cyril Ramaphosa, for as long as our black people still lives in shacks and abject poverty, for as long as the unemployment rate is still at 70%, then we're still not free, and our people not yet tasted the freedom. Honorable Speaker, Martin Luther King Jr. wrote in his 1963 letter from a Birmingham jail that, I quote, "Freedom is never given voluntarily by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed," unquote. It is for this reason that the EFF demands and calls for real freedom, for we know it will not be given freely. The only way we can really and truly have and enjoy freedom is to get rid of the ANC in government and redistribute the land and economy to our people. As I conclude, Honorable Speaker, I would like to say 27 April is an unfinished business, a day to be remembered and not to be celebrated. I thank you.
Honorable Tabete, you're given 4 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me also send the condolences to Gadi's family. Really, lokwendekako akusi kuhle. Njenga-chairperson we-multi-party women's caucus in the legislature, ngibona ukuthi umthetho awudlale indima yawo. Bugebengu sebanze kakhulu ke la province yethu. Ngiyathemba ke government wethu utowenda sure ukuthi leti gebengu titholakala. Honorable Speaker, it is on the public domain that South Africa was a racially divided nation where mainly black people were oppressed. Black were denied their civil, political, and social and economic rights. Blacks were on the periphery from the social, economic, and political scheme of things. In view of the above, the freedom in South Africa was shaped by a revolutionary which challenged the oppressive apartheid government. Indeed, apartheid was a crime against humanity. There was a number of events of protest that took place by then to challenge the apartheid. Their common intention was a freedom. Such events included, but not limited, the 1956 Women's March, the 1976 Soweto Uprising, the Sharpeville Massacre, and many more. The laws that were passed by the apartheid regime were segregating black people. Blacks did not have a right to vote. They received a different education system which was based on the Bantu Education Act. Apartheid had a group areas where the residents were demarcated for specially blacks. I mean for especially blacks in homeland areas and in township, and white in rural areas. Black people were servants of the white people by only become the laborers in government and in whatever institution. Liberation movements such as the ANC and others were banned, and its leaders were changed the situation. After unbanning of the liberation movement, we then witnessed the negotiations for the very first time in the history of the South Africa. Black voted, and it was the first time that they exercised their civil and political rights.
Round up, honorable member.
Oh, you say wonderful, speak. Honorable Speaker, on what we have achieved to determine that we have now free, although there's still things that we need to achieve. We made a commitment in the Freedom Charter that people shall govern, and indeed today our people are governing. Gone are those days where there were rulers like apartheid. Every person, irrespective of his or her race, has a right to vote. We said the doors of learning shall be open, and all. We have a single education system. No one in South Africa is denied education because of the family background. Disadvantaged tertiary students having access through the NSFAS funds. We have established no fee school.
The time is up.
In our our learners are receiving school nutrition in all schools. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Sithole, you are given 3 minutes.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, we extend our sincere condolences to the Gadi family on the tragic loss of their beloved daughter. We can never consider ourselves free when women and children live in fear because they are raped and murdered, and the numbers are escalating because crime is rampant, robbing them of their freedom to live. Honorable Speaker, we can never consider ourselves free when people like Pushia Mtsweni, who was murdered and mutilated for being lesbian right here in Kwamhlanga, are not free. She was only 25 years old. Honorable Speaker, we can never consider ourselves free when our farming and rural communities are under attack. Farmers and farm workers in our province are not protected by this government. They live in fear in their hearts. They live with fear in their hearts because of the brutal attacks they often endure. Their freedom is yet to be realized. Honorable Speaker, we can never consider ourselves free when our mothers and sisters are asked for sex before they can get a job to be able to feed their children, like at Drop Ferreira Hospital right here in Mbombela. Their only sin is that they are poor, vulnerable, desperate to provide for their children. They are yet to taste how it feels like to be free. Honorable Speaker, we can never say we are free when so many people go to bed hungry every night in our province. The levels of poverty have more than tripled and it is getting worse. That is not freedom. People are tired of being told how mighty you are. People are tired of being told how you are the biggest movement in wherever. People are tired of hearing how you praise one another. People are desperate for work. People need to survive. Real freedom comes when you are able to put food on the table at the end of the day. Honorable Speaker, corruption is the new form of oppression. Stealing from the poor is the new form of oppression. There is no freedom where residents has to bear the brunt of a corrupt government because corruption has bankrupted all state-owned entities. It has bankrupted our municipalities and rendered them dysfunctional. It has created the highest unemployment, which is directly linked to high levels of poverty. Corruption has brought us load shedding, power outages and power interruptions, and in many instances, no power at all. It has contributed to the increase in gender-based violence because criminals get away with murder in this country because they are ruled by the It has brought us state capture. Honorable Speaker, as I wrap up, corruption has brought us nothing but misery to our people. Corruption has brought uncontrollable levels of poverty and our people are suffering. Honorable Speaker, in closing, I want to remind this House that real freedom requires us to end poverty and create jobs. Many people have laid down their lives. They've suffered greatly for us to be free. They've given us the right to vote. They won us the right to be who we want to be. We owe it to them to end poverty and create jobs that so many people desperately need. I thank you.
Honorable Weber, you are given a minute. Honorable Mlombo, you are given 4 minutes.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think as the Chief Whip of the Majority Party, I need to join the honorable members who have extended their sincere condolences to the Gadi family for the loss of their beautiful, young, precious daughter. Our condolences to them, and we wish them that God gives them strength to be able to deal with the challenge that they are facing. Honorable Speaker, I close this debate today with my face beaming with confidence, beaming with determination and hope for the future of this country. I stand here, Honorable Speaker, to argue that our country has achieved a lot in just 28 years of democratic rule. I stand here to argue that the ANC-led government in this country have done a lot to reverse the damage that has been inflicted on the people of this country for more than 300 years. I stand here to argue without question that our country, there is no country in this world, or there are few countries across the globe that has achieved as much as this country has achieved in just 28 years. I do so because I believe that our democracy is on track and that our freedom is bearing the fruits that we expected from it. I stand here to argue that freedom has a meaning to the millions of South Africans who did not have shelter above their head. But today, because of the ANC-led government, these millions and millions of people have got shelter above their head. I stand here to argue that freedom has got a meaning to the millions of children who today go to school and enjoy free basic education and enjoy a feeding from their different schools just because the ANC government has made it possible that those children must be able to get free education. I argue that freedom has a meaning to the disabled, to the children, and to the pregnant women who today receive free basic health care in our clinics and hospital. And all this is because in just 28 years of democracy, the ANC government could deliver to those million of people. Which government across the world has been able to do that in just a period of 25 years? Yes, Honorable Speaker, freedom has a meaning to the millions of our people in this country who are receiving social grants, who are receiving social security just because the ANC government has in fact ensured that they receive such social grant. Yes, it is true that we have crossed the path of conflict and division, and we have moved, and we are slowly moving towards the possibility of a united South Africa and a peaceful South Africa. Yes, freedom has got a meaning to the millions of workers who work in the different sectors of our country, who are today enjoying labor legislations that are favoring them. And lastly, Speaker, freedom has got a meaning to the millions of our university students who are attending university across the country and getting assistance in terms of NAFSAs, something that did not happen during the time of apartheid. So our freedom is on track, our democracy is on track, the ANC-led government is on track, the people of South Africa are happy. Thank you very much.
That concludes the snap debate on Freedom Day. The Secretary shall read the third order of the day.
Order number 3, questions for oral reply to the members of the Executive Council.
I have a question paper in front of me with questions for oral reply to members of the Executive Council, known as MECs. I am informed that the question paper was duly circulated to all members of the legislature. We'll now proceed to questions for oral reply as they appear on the question paper. The first question is from Honorable N.P. Mkabela from the EFF to ask the MEC for education. And I have received an apology from the MEC for education, and Honorable Manzini will stand in for him. Honorable Manzini.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. Let me take this opportunity and greet yourself, the Deputy Speaker, the newly elected Deputy Speaker, and congratulations to Age Tabete, members of the Executive Council, members of the Provincial Legislature, and all our guests in this legislature sitting. The question is from Honorable N.P. Mkabele from the EFF to ask MEC for education. Honorable MEC, there is a lot of misplaced educators who are now reporting directly to the second office, district office, if not state.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Manzini, you can take your seat. Honorable Mkabela.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I don't know what the rule says. Maybe I can be assisted there from the front desk. I don't feel comfortable to take responses from the Honorable MEC who's not the actual one for the department. The questions that are raised here, I need him to respond to them.
Thank you very much. You can assist me if it's possible.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mlombo.
Honorable Speaker, look, this will not be the first time that an honorable member will respond on behalf of another honorable member in terms of the questions. But while you are still checking with the rules, I suggest that we go to another question, we skip this one, we'll come back to this one. Thank you.
Mhlonishwa Somlomo, if I may be allowed.
Honorable Shongwe.
Ngiyabonga Mhlonishwa Somlomo. Maybe just to bring on board the honorable member that have raised a concern over this matter. This is not a matter of the rules and orders. This is a matter of procedure. Procedurally, any executive member can be delegated to respond on behalf of any MEC from the cabinet, because we are one government, as long as the reason of the absence of that particular MEC have been clearly forwarded to the office of the Speaker. On that note, we cannot skip the question because a member herself is not even sure of the concern that she has raised. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Rule number 100, number 8 states that if a member of the Executive Council is absent on a day when questions relating to the relevant department are to be answered, and those questions are not answered by another member of the Executive Council, the Speaker may, if requested to do so by the member in whose name a question to that member of the Executive Council stands, and after consultation with the leader of government business, direct that questions to that member of the Executive Council be placed on the question paper for the first question session for the member of the Executive Council following that day. And also Rule 100 Number 5 states that a member may give notice or take charge of a question on behalf of an absent member if the member has been authorized to do so by the member absent. Honorable Grobler.
Speaker, thank you very much. And I take note of the rule, and you're 100% correct. I just want to make the House aware, and I think we should refer this to the Rules Committee, because as members, it's our mandate to keep the executive accountable. And it's fine for another MEC to read the answer. We take that. But the problem comes in with the follow-up questions. And remember, we submit these questions well in advance, and there might be some new information that we get in the time from since we submit until being answered. And then the member who submitted has got 2 follow-up, and then 2 other members can have 2 follow-ups. And the new MEC, or the MEC that reads the answer, we cannot expect to hold that member of the executive accountable for another department. And that's where the problem comes in. I realize it's not something we can sort out here now, but I wanted the House to consider to refer this to the Rules Committee so that the answers can actually, so that we can hold the executive accountable. That's all I want to say. We get the rule, it's fine, you're 100% correct, it can be referred to another MEC, but still, it makes our mandate less effective. Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable Nyembe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As the question is asked by one of our own, we kindly request that the Honorable MEC responsible to answer to us in writing if he is not here. Thank you. We're not accepting that MEC. Thank you.
Honorable members, the Honorable MEC will respond to Honorable Mkabela in written responses. Can we proceed to the next question? The next question will be from Honorable Hlophe.
Honorable Speaker, can I also come in? Honorable Speaker.
The ruling is made.
Can I Speaker?
No.
This honorable members can
No.
Have another coffee, MEC. Just have a coffee there. It's fine.
No.
Honorable members, can we give Honorable Shongwe? Yes. Honorable Shongwe.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for your indulgence.
Honorable Nyembe.
Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Nyembe.
I think it's very much unprocedural to allow members of the EFF to change procedures of the legislature and change rules and orders of this legislature. And a procedure be a procedure that will please them.
Honorable members, Honorable Shongwe, can you please take your seat?
Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable members, please, can you please adhere to the rules and orders of this legislature? And on Rule 37(1), a member may not interrupt another member while speaking. Can I request Honorable Shongwe to proceed? I am the presiding officer, and I have given Honorable Shongwe the opportunity to speak. Honorable Shongwe, can you please proceed?
Thank you very much, my Speaker. And thank you very much once for your indulgence and your understanding. Honorable Speaker, for the consistency of the running of the institution, the legislature, we cannot allow members who have asked a question to be inconsistent with other members procedurally and in terms of the rule of the House. The members of the executive have been delegating question for the past donkey years to do that. Even at national level, we can go and make a benchmark, even to other provinces and everywhere else. We cannot defer the question because the EFF feels that they don't accept Honorable Manzini to respond. When a member is delegated to respond on behalf of the other member, she has also a responsibility to make follow-up, when there are follow-up questions, to respond to those follow-up questions. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Can I take a point of order, Honorable Stolle?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise on a point of order on rule number 57, the right of members to speak. What Honorable Shongwe is saying, it's not in the rules. The Speaker, as the presiding officer of this House, you have made a ruling. And the leader of business government or any other member has got no right to want to change the ruling of the presiding officer. Yes. You're not presiding over ANC, you're presiding over this House. Yes. Honorable Shongwe has got no right to speak, number one. You've made a ruling. The matter is closed. We can't open it for debate. Now you've opened it again for debate. You've ruled this, the Honorable MEC will send the answers in writing. The matter is closed. Honorable Shongwe has got no point, he has just wasted our time. We will not take what he said. In fact, we haven't even heard it. If you're going to allow that, then you yourself will be breaking your own rules. So you've made a ruling. This matter is closed. Ask us to open it again and debate it. Then we'll open it again and debate it. Respect your own ruling. You have closed this matter. Thank you very much.
Show some leadership, Speaker. Tell them.
Thank you, honorable members. The honorable MEC will respond in writing to Honorable Mkabela. And also what Honorable Grobler raised. In terms of our rules which were adopted, the member of the executive, the Rule 105, stated clearly that a member may give notice or take charge of a question on behalf of an absent member if the member has been authorized to do so by the absent member. Then I request that if you feel that this rule is no more conducive for this House, we refer it to the Rules Committee and be able to review the rules in order the House to adopt the new rules. But for now, the Honorable MEC will respond in writing. The next question will be from Honorable Klope, the ANC, to ask the MEC for cooperative governance and traditional affairs. Honorable Shiba, over to you.
Honorable Speaker.
You, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much for an opportunity given to me, Honorable Speaker. Let me greet you and the honorable members and join you in congratulating Honorable Tabete for being elected as Deputy Speaker, and also to congratulate Honorable Mandandlovu as sworn into the legislature. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The question from Honorable Klope is as follows. The previous and recent rains have caused serious damage to the road infrastructure in most municipalities, making it difficult to access schools, shops, clinics, and hospitals. The question is as follows. Can the Honorable MEC share with us the extent of infrastructure damage that happened in the province across municipalities? The response is as follows. Indeed, the previous and recent rains have caused damages to road infrastructure and other amenities. The extent of damages by these rains is accounted for as follows. The tropical storm Eloise that happened between the 23rd and the 31st of January 2021 was the worst disaster in recent years to affect the province. During these disaster, damages were experienced in various public infrastructure, which included 754 confirmed houses, agriculture farms and facilities, schools, clinics, offices, water and sanitation, electrical networks, road, storm water system, and bridges. Unfortunately, 10 fatalities were recorded during this disaster. On the 23rd of 2021, April 2021, a total number of 841 houses in Buffelshoek were affected by a hailstorm, damaging windows and roof covering in Bushbuckridge local municipality. See, on the night of the 2nd of October 2021, the city of Mbombela had heavy rains in thunderstorm, which affected various wards. That is Ward 14, 18, 20, 21, 22, 26, 31, 32, 38, and 45, damaging houses, schools, community halls, electrical power lines, and 2 agricultural facilities. This disaster also damaged an agricultural facility in Bushbuckridge. And on the night of the 5th of November 2021, between 18 hours to 20 hours, the Ngomazi local municipality experienced heavy hail and thunderstorm accompanied by hurricane that caused damages to 13 villages: Kamhlushwa, Posaville, Aniva, Mdladla, Langelop, Skudendal, Bosfontein, Drikopis, Mbangwane, Jeppes Reef, Skumansdal, Rootfest, and Piva. These damages included a total of 445 reported houses, 14 schools, 2 community halls, 2 guest houses, 9 churches, and 12 shops. On the 11th of November 2021, heavy rains and hailstorm damaged a total of 45 houses in Ward 22 in Bushbuckridge municipality. On the 14th of November 2021, between 15 to 17:45, Leidenberg, Mashishing, within the Tabatweu municipality was affected by a severe hailstorm with hail the size of a tennis ball, damaging infrastructure. The damaged infrastructure included 99 reported houses, roads, electrical network, including traffic lights, and the municipal building. During this hailstorm, a number of vehicles were damaged. In the month of December 2021, continuous rains have caused damages to roads and bridges across municipalities, especially in the Ehlazeni district. And on the night of the 4th of February 2022, the Tembisilehan local municipality experienced heavy hail and thunderstorm that caused damages to 20 wards, villages, and that stand out include Mount View Zone 2, Tweefontein E, Zakeni, and Liratong, as well as Moloto. Important to note is that the recent floods which affected the KwaZulu-Natal province have not been experienced in the province. However, the province have experienced moderate rainfall, which continued to damage the roads infrastructure across municipalities. Question 2, what plans have been put in place by the department and municipalities to attend and fix the damaged infrastructure? The response is as follows. The department, with the special allocation of 270 million received in the 2021-2022 financial year, implemented a disaster rehabilitation of damaged infrastructure program to respond to the tropical storm Eloise disaster and ongoing rains that damage infrastructure. The department, through the allocated budget, also ensured that disaster relief materials were procured to assist affected communities. The Department of Human Settlement also implemented a program to verify, rectify, and repair a number of reported damaged houses. Moreover, the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport, working with their client departments such as the Department of Health and Department of Education, also implemented a program to repair damaged educational and health facilities. The work on damaged facilities is ongoing. On the other hand, municipalities reprioritized their plans to ensure the availability of budget to respond to some of the damaged infrastructure, in particular those for basic services. It should be noted that the persistent rains continued to damage roads, even roads that have been re-gravelled. The next question, what measures has the department put in place to ensure that the quality of the infrastructure is sustained over a long period of time? The response is as follows. The department, in implementing the disaster rehabilitation of damaged infrastructure program has appointed engineers to oversee and manage the rollout of the program to ensure quality on executed work. In addition, the departmental engineers deployed by the Development Bank of Southern Africa, DBSA, including those of municipalities, have been and are still actively involved in the implementation of the program. Furthermore, retention has been applied in the most of the infrastructure rehabilitation projects to ensure that defects during the retention period are addressed. The next question, what assistance has the department provided to the affected communities? The response is as follows. The department is responsible for disaster management in the province and coordinate all disaster management activities whenever a disaster happens. The department has ensured that all disaster management structures and stakeholders are activated to develop and implement a response plan in disaster affected areas. The department has ensured that all required support from all sectors is coordinated and provided to communities. Furthermore, the department has provided disaster relief material to all affected communities. These disaster relief materials include tarpaulins, blanket, collapsible structures, foam mattresses, gel stove, and water purification sachet. The last question is, what are the estimated cost of the damage across the province in rand value? The response is as follows. On the overall, it is estimated that the total cost of the damages caused by the previous and recent disaster is 1.5 billion, and 1.3 billion is estimated at the cost of damages that happened during the tropical storm Eloise in January 2021, whilst the remainder is estimated for the disaster damages of between April 2021 to February 2022. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Hlophe, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm covered.
Are there any follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Mfokeng.
Thanks, Speaker. Just a simple question to the Honorable MEC. Is there any RCA conducted into this infrastructure fiasco? The last one is, does she believe that we must fix or repair the roads? Which one, fix or repair the roads? Thanks, Speaker.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I could not get the first question correctly so. And the second one, Chair, it depends on the road, in the way that road is being damaged. When the road it needs to be repaired, we're doing that. And when that road it needs to be fixed, we are also doing that. It depends on the report that we are receiving from our engineer. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mfokeng, can you please repeat the first question?
Thanks, Speaker. I'll make it simple again. RCA, it's root cause analysis. Is there any root cause analysis been done in order for this infrastructure fiasco?
Honorable MEC.
As I've mentioned, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. As I've mentioned, that we are having engineers as a department. Before we decided to fix or to repair the road, they gave us a report. Then after that, we continue with what needs to be done. It means that a report that we're having from our engineers, they first start by doing the RCA as indicated by the honorable member. Thank you very much.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Then we'll proceed to the next question from Honorable T.M. Makaringi, the ANC, to ask the MEC for Public Works, Roads and Transport. Honorable MEC, over to you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question from Honorable T.M. Makaringe from the ANC to ask our department reads as follows. The construction work for the most busy Carino interchange on the N4 road is almost complete, and it will make the flow of traffic to be manageable at that level. And then question 1, can the Honorable MEC share with the House on the progress made thus far? Honorable Speaker, our response as a department is the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport welcomes and appreciates the completion and beneficial use of the Carino interchange. This has significantly reduced motorist traveling time for both through and local traffic. However, for the monitoring public to fully benefit from the Carino interchange development, it is crucial that the local roads connecting to the interchange are fully functional. And this also includes the provincial road D2296, on which is the Tegwane Bridge. Construction progress of the Tegwane Bridge as of 14 April 2022 was at 68%. Casting of the bridge concrete structure was completed on the 22nd of March 2022. The concrete has to cure for at least 28 days before the structure is permitted to carry any loads from the top or from the sides. Construction of the approach roads has since commenced, and the entire project is expected to achieve practical completion and therefore be open to traffic by the end of May 2022. Honorable Speaker, question number 2 reads whether the department has any plans in place to assess and report on the challenges faced regarding the rebuilding of the new bridge. Our response: the department has learned some valuable lessons from the project, and the lessons cut across social and technical disciplines. The most notable include ideal start of construction bridge should be towards the end of the rain season to minimize delays due to rainfall, and also to work within the riverbed when the water level is low. Construction runs much smoother and with less community disruptions when before project commencement enough time has been given to setting up and training the project steering committee. Contractors on the bridge projects can work with 2 or 3 shifts per day when casting the bridge concrete structure to reduce the construction duration of the project. Community disruption of construction projects can be minimized by having a functional project steering committee and a social facilitation team that frequently engages with the community before project commencement. Honorable Speaker, question number 3 reads, what assurance is the department giving the community of Tegwane South with regard to the time frame of completion? Our response is the department committed to complete the casting of the bridge concrete structure by the end of March 2022. And this was achieved on the 22nd of March 2022, despite the delays encountered due to the average rainfall and community project disruptions. It is therefore highly possible that the entire project should be completed by the end of May 2022, as per the construction program, since the critical and most time-sensitive part of the construction was completed by the 22nd March 2022. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Makaringi, do you have a follow-up question?
No, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I don't have further questions.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? The next question is from Honorable NPM Kabela EFF to ask the MEC for education. Honorable Kabela is not here. Then we'll...
I'm here, I'm connected, Honorable Speaker.
Okay.
But I think I requested, and you've made a ruling on that one of me. So all the questions that I've asked there, they are for Department of Education, and the MEC is not there. So I think we should just follow what we agreed on before.
Then it means all the questions from a good self to the MEC for education must be in written.
Thank you very
The
much.
next question is from the Honorable Big Robla from the TA to ask the MEC for finance, economic development and tourism. Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. My greetings to you and greetings to the newly elected Deputy Speaker and congratulations. Greetings to the members of the Executive Council, members of the Provincial Legislature. And Chair, let me also join members in passing our condolences to the Gadi family, as well as joining other members in welcoming the chairperson of the ANC in the province as a member of the provincial legislature. Chair, Honorable B. Krobler, DA, to ask the MEC for finance, economic development and tourism with regards to Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency, the MTPA, and its role in promoting tourism in the province. Can the MEC indicate the following? One, what role does Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency play when promoting the various tourist destinations in Mpumalanga? The response to that question: the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency was established to promote for the sustainable development and improvement of tourism in the province. The mandate is scaled down as promotion of Mpumalanga as a tourism destination of choice. The entity takes advantage of promotion and marketing platforms, including international and local trade shows, such as the Africa's Travel in Durban, where over 500 international buyers from 47 countries meet, over 400 local and international exhibitors who showcase their tourism destinations and packages. Other platforms will include your World Travel Market and international bids to host international business meetings and colloquiums. These platforms create awareness of hidden gems and showcase the tourism offerings that Mpumalanga prides itself with. The MTPA participates in various media platforms to promote the various tourism destinations of the province. This includes local and international travel magazines, which are accessible in airports and trade shows. Other strategies to market the province includes the promotion of local tourism through city-to-city activations, where local tourism products are subsidized to go to big cities in the country like Johannesburg, Cape Town, and Durban, to mobilize people to come visit the province in townships and rural tourism destinations. The entity has established social media platforms to upload marketable products and content that will appetize a potential tourist. The entity is currently engaged with the improvement of its website and development of a user-friendly app to take advantage of the digital marketing space. The entity is also reviewing its tourism marketing strategy to include office centers in strategic airports for ease of access to information about tourism products in the country. The second question is, how does the state of the roads leading to these various tourist destinations affect tourism in Mpumalanga. The response to that, the Mpumalanga roads infrastructure leading to key tourism routes are not in good state, particularly in the panorama route. This has a significant negative effect on the growth of the sector in the province, as most tourists complain about the state of the roads. As a result, it affects the number of tourists visiting our province. This will result to tourists postponing their visits to Mpumalanga and seeking alternative destinations elsewhere in the country to visit. In recognition of this and many other issues, the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport, in consultation with the Department of Economic Development and Tourism and the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Authority, has undertaken an exercise to rehabilitate the key tourism routes or corridors in the province. The current major projects under implementation in the Lowveld will include the rehabilitation of the R36, phase 3 between Bambi and Mashishing, which is 11 kilometers, phase 1, which is 10 kilometers, and phase 2 of 18 kilometers were completed in 2016 and 2020 respectively. Also will include the light and selective rehabilitation of the road P17, P1701 between Graskop and Matibiti, which is 16 kilometers. That project also includes light rehabilitation of the road leading to God's Window and maintenance of the road to the Skywalk and improvement of the road from Graskop town to the intersection with Sabi Pilgrim Rest Road. The rockfall protection on the Cornwall Pass, the sinkhole rehabilitation on the Sabi Pilgrim Rest Road, repair of the slip failure and selective light rehabilitation and resealing of the R533 road from the intersection with P57-2 to Pushback Ridge and the R40. And the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport recently acquired machines, which we call them the pothole patching trucks, which will be deployed primarily on tourism roads with a view to have pothole-free tourism roads in the province. And in addition, annually the department carries out routine maintenance, which will relate to grass cutting, vegetation control, cleaning of drains, repair, replacements of road signs, etc., and on all our tourism roads in the province. The third question, what are the major challenges facing tourists from visiting the various tourism attractions in Mpumalanga? And the response is that there are many factors that could be cited as reasons for the slow picking up of the tourists coming to the province, namely the state of road infrastructure, which we have just articulated. The disposable income of the tourists themselves is another factor, particularly the domestic tourist, the lack of general maintenance and overdue and necessary improvements at the state-owned and controlled tourist attractions, which is a matter that has found expression when the Honorable Premier allocated the budget, the provincial budget. Tourism safety and security, and also the issues of COVID-19. The fourth question, what percentage of the visits taking place at the tourism attractions in Mpumalanga is domestic and international? The response, as per the statistics released by the South African Tourism, the official foreign tourist arrival in Mpumalanga for 2020 is 500,000, and it was sitting at 65.6%, lower than the 2019 1.4 million tourist arrivals. And this was due to the COVID-19 pandemic that led to the travel restrictions globally. This, as a result, in 2020, the total foreign direct spend in Mpumalanga was 58.1%, lower than in 2019, and the loss in bed nights by foreign travelers for 2020 was 73.7%, lower than in 2019. The drop in foreign tourist arrival had a negative impact on the provincial GDP as well as employment in the province. Mpumalanga province, compared to other provinces, was ranked as the third in terms of foreign tourist arrivals in 2020 and fourth in terms of total foreign direct spending. Mpumalanga was ranked the seventh most visited province in 2020, with a market share of 8% with regards to domestic tourism trips. The next question, in 2019, Mpumalanga registered the third highest number of foreign arrivals, as well as being the destination province of the fifth highest number of domestic tourism trips. And the fifth question, Honourable Speaker, is that what percentage increase, if any, has been noticed since June 2021 and March 2022 for domestic and international tourist visits in Mpumalanga? The response, the tourism industry is steadily recovering from the impact of COVID-19 pandemic. The pandemic negatively affected the movement of tourists globally and Mpumalanga in particular. The provinces with Mpumalanga included rely on the statistics released by Stats SA and the South African Tourism. The statistics are released annually. Therefore, the comparable period are as follows. The international tourist arrival to Mpumalanga for the period April to September 2021 is 270,596. On the domestic front, the number of domestic trips taken from April to September 2021 is 866,498. And the statistics for October 2021 to March 2022 are not yet released. Thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Grobler, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you very much, Speaker. Thank you, MEC, for answering the question. I think you were comprehensive in your answer. From our point of view, we still think the department should only be responsible for biodiversity and then leave the real tourist stuff for the private sector. But Speaker, what I want to ask the MEC is whether, tourists, because obviously when tourists get to different tourist destinations, there's all kinds of suggestion boxes and complaint boxes. Is there something that's like a golden thread running through the province at our tourist destinations, a complaint or a compliment? And what is the department doing about that? In actual fact, Speaker, I'm asking, are those things being monitored? And what are we doing? What's our action plan? Thank you.
Honourable MEC.
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. Yes, we do have a suggestion box in our parks where if tourists have got issues, whether compliments or complaints, they can be able to write and drop them there. And we do have officials responsible to process all issues that are being received. And these issues, there is a committee set up which is led by a member of the board. And in this regard is the deputy chairperson of the board, who is responsible for tourism and all those issues. And they are able to process such issues. And when those issues cannot be resolved, they are able to be elevated. In many instances, what we experience, Honourable Speaker, is that other tourists will launch complaints directly with the minister for the Department of Tourism nationally, and those issues are then referred down for the attention of the MEC to also intervene and assist on those matters. So yes, as far as I'm concerned, we are able to receive and react on those issues as we receive them.
Are there follow-up questions from other honourable members? Thank you, MEC.
Thank you, Speaker.
We'll skip the next question because Honourable Weber is not present. Then we'll move to the next question, which is from Honourable J.L. Tabete, the ANC, to ask the MEC for health. Honourable MEC, over to you.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker. Let me also thank this opportunity given to myself to respond to Honourable J.L. Tabete of the ANC. Section 27 of the Constitution provides that everyone has a right to have access to healthcare services. Due to South Africa's too tight healthcare system, the majority of them rely on public healthcare provision. Kanyamazane Township has been steadily growing over the years, with several residential areas established within the township vicinity. Research has revealed that the township steadily grows. Most community members rely on a clinic that is too small, and in some instances they have to queue beyond the main gate. The first question is, the MEC aware of the situation happening at Kanyamazane Clinic? Yes, the MEC is aware of the situation, hence a decision was taken to build a new facility, since the land where the clinic is currently situated is too small to be able to accommodate the structure that is needed to serve the community of Kanyamazane 24 hours, 7 days a week. Can the MEC briefly explain some of the consideration by the department when a new public health facility is to be constructed? The department appreciates the land that was donated by Mbombela municipality for the construction of the new Kanyamazane CHC. The process of construction of a new structure that will meet the ideal requirement of an ideal clinic is underway. According to the project plan, the CHC will be completed mid-year 2024. Can the MEC elaborate how this problem will be resolved, or are there any plans in the pipeline by the department in constructing a new clinic or revamp the existing infrastructure? The existing infrastructure cannot be revamped to meet the standard of an ideal clinic, and the land where it is built is too small to accommodate the size of the ideal 24-hour clinic. Hence, the construction of a new clinic will be the best solution for Kanyamazane and the surrounding areas at the meantime, while waiting for the construction process to continue. The department will implement the appointment system that will reduce the queues, especially for those who are coming for repeats. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Tabete, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. It's not a follow-up question. I'm satisfied on what MEC is saying. Just to comment that we have seen the construction has already started at the site of Kanyamazane, but I think the slow pace that is running, it's not giving hope that the one day the clinic is going to be completed. But we appreciate the initiative, just if they can just monitor the project and make sure that it goes faster, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I agree with Honorable Member. We will, with the Department of Public Works, make sure that we fast track the construction of the clinic, but as we've indicated that it will be completed mid-year 2024. Thank you very much.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Then we'll move to the next question, which is from Honorable Jesse Shabalala, the ANC, to ask the MEC for human settlement. I have received an apology from the MEC for human settlement, and Honorable B.T. Shongwe will stand in for him.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me appreciate the time that has been given to me to stand on behalf of Honorable MEC Mashilo and to respond on the questions asked by Honorable MECs. On that note, let me congratulate the newly elected Speaker, Deputy Speaker, Umam Utabete, and also welcome the provincial chairperson of the ANC who has joined the legislature. The question comes from Honorable Shabalala, and it reads as follows. Inkosi City is a major integrated human settlement in Danchi, developed in a joint venture between the Inkosi Communal Property Association, CPA, and the Mpumalanga Provincial Government. This multi-phase project will comprise of 1,747 fully subsidized houses, RDP, and 1,166 upmarket apartments and 558 bonded housing units. Then the first question goes like this. Regarding the above, can the Honorable MEC share with us on when is this project going to start? And the response goes as follows. Following the ESCO decision dated 18 September 2019, directing that a tripartite agreement be entered into by and between Inkosi CPA, the City of Mbombela, and the Department of Human Settlement. The department engaged with the parties concerned and eventually entered into an Inkosi City tripartite agreement with all the said parties on the 25th of May 2020, this being the last date of the signature. With regards to the start of the implementation, the City of Mbombela Municipality, Inkosi City Communal Property Association, and the provincial government and all the project stakeholders represented and forming part of the project steering committee have, on the meeting held on the 10th of March 2022, agreed collectively to proceed with the initial phase of implementation in the current financial year, that is 2022-2023 financial year. Once all the required statutory approvals, that is building plans approvals, bulk service payable, engineering services agreements, inclusion of the access road to the road maintenance plan, and funding options, grant funding agreements by other departments other than the Department of Human Settlement, project preparatory funding by the Development Bank of South Africa, DBSA, contribution and split payments by parties are in place. The statutory approvals and funding options require the direct involvement of and finalization by the City of Mbombela, National Department of Mineral Resources and Energy, Department of Trade, Industry and Competition, National Treasury, provincial sector departments, that is Department of Human Settlement, COCTA, DADLA, Public Works and Community Services, Kosi City Development, ESCOM, and the Development Bank of Southern Africa. The Inkosi City Development, which is now phrased as NCD, act as the implementation agent of the Inkosi Communal Property Association. The initial project activities will include drilling, testing of equipment of boreholes, piloting and construction of 133 fully subsidized housing units with the required potable water, septic tanks, solar energy, internal gravel road, and later the electricity and water reticulation for the initial phase, as well as the raising of the raising wall of Prinkop Dam. Then the sub-question 2 goes as follows. About job creation, can the Honorable MEC elaborate on how is the project going to create the much needed job opportunities for the local people? And the response is as follows. The project steering committee have developed a training and skill development plan, which is being finalized with the Department of Education with a view to agree on the scope of training, required skills, identification and training opportunities presented by the Nkosi City. The training and skill development plan will not only allow for skills transfer for the identified beneficiaries, but should detail how the much needed job opportunities will be addressed in favor of the City of Mbombela residents. The training and skills development plan will be presented in a workshop with all sitters to identify the opportunities each land parcel presents and to link the opportunities to the training institutions. The latter could then prepare a training strategy for each land parcel in the Nkosi City. This will also focus the training initiatives of the Department of Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs to the identified beneficiaries, noting that the residential component of the Nkosi City embrace subsistence farming within each residential stand to ensure property alleviation and sustainability of livelihoods. Sub-question 3, is the department working together with the municipality to identify the correct deserving beneficiaries for the project above? The response is yes. Beneficiaries will be identified for the 133 plus RDP houses with the assistance of the Nkosi City Communal Property Association, the Department of Human Settlement, and the City of Mbombela. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Shabalala, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me appreciate the responses from the MEC, but then on Roman figure number 3, I think we'll have to deal with the MEC at the portfolio level because it's one of the major issues where our people are always fighting in terms of the rightful beneficiaries being allocated their houses, and there should not be issues of other people who are now found in this house. It's a major problem. I think MEC upendule kahle, but then sizokhuluma no MEC wale department makufika for portfolio committee because they need to make us satisfied in terms of the measures that are there. Because I see it's missing the sub here, the South African Police Service, wherein the corruption or the crime is taking place. If someone is invading a house that is not allocated to them, it's crime. So we'll then deliberate further at the portfolio level committee. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Morgan.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I will just ask the question, but I know it's not the Honorable MEC's responsibility to respond to my question. But she can agree with me, Honorable Speaker, that many projects are being abandoned in the province. They end up not being completed. So my question is, I would like to know from the Department of Human Settlement, what plans do they have in place to make sure that contractors don't abandon sites where they are being fully paid for, and we end up finding a project being a white elephant, because that's what's been happening around the province. Thank you, Chair.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much. I think in Cabinet we adopted a report where this government identified all houses that were not complete, working together with municipalities, and then a plan was made available to finish those houses. And it was not many houses. I think the MEC will give you a list of those houses. But then there's a plan to make sure that from now moving on, all those contractors that have been given work or that are going to be given work, unfinished houses will never be allowed, and I think they will even be terminated and be blacklisted, because this can't be allowed. When they are given a work to do, they must be able to finish that job. If they fail, the job must be taken and be given to somebody that is able to do that. Thank you very much.
Is there any follow-up question from other honorable member? Thank you, MEC. The next question is from Honorable Nyembe to ask the MEC for education. Can I be advised, Honorable Nyembe?
Thank you, Chairperson. We'll gladly accept the response in writing. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to the next question, which is from Honorable R.J. Sitole from the DA to ask the MEC for social development. Honorable MEC, over to you.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Greetings to yourself and the entire House, and also let me start by sending condolences to the Gadi family on the loss of their child, and also congratulate the newly elected Deputy Speaker. On the question from Honorable Member Sitole, the first question to the MEC's knowledge: how vast was the need for the food relief during 2019 and 2020-21? Our response as a department is that there was an increase in demand for food relief during 2020-21, 2021-22, primarily due to the lockdown restrictions which interrupted individuals' and families' income generation opportunities. These subsequent loss of income for the many people, in particularly the lower income bracket, with the minimal savings to cushion themselves, has and will continue to severely affect the marginalized and vulnerable groups. On question 2, give the above mentioned need for the need of relief during the 2019, 2020, and 2020. My apology, Honorable Speaker. The second question is, given the above mentioned need for the food relief during the 2019, 2020, and 21, how much assistance was given by the Department of Social Development? Our response as a department is that during the financial year 2018-19, we had 7,786. In the financial year 2019-2020, we had 7,271. In the financial year 2020 to 21, we had 104,184. For 2021-22, we had 25,505. So you can see this, the increase in those financial year where we experienced some challenges. Then the third question: what is the department defining criteria for food relief, and where were those who lost their jobs during COVID-19 pandemic also sheltered by the department's food relief? And our response is that there is a criteria that is applied before and post-COVID pandemic that it needs information in terms of the application for any social grant that that household has and the source of income. Also, it shall include clients who are on chronic care. Also, a person who has been found medically unfit to undertake any remunerative work for the period of less than 6 months, and there should be supportive documents in terms of your medical reports, and also applicants who doesn't receive maintenance from, and also is obliged to pay such maintenance. And those proof and supporting documents are very necessary so that you can be processed and be successful, because if you don't provide, sometimes it becomes unsuccessful. If also the breadwinner has been admitted in an institution for less than 6 months, and that proof of admission will be submitted, that also your unemployed persons, and there are no source of income within the family. Also, your orphans, your child-headed households, and also those holiday parents, families who willingly take the child from any residential facility, but due to circumstances are unable to provide for that. So it's clearly stated. So to provide support to the many individuals and families who are affected by the COVID-19 pandemic, the subsequent lockdown, the department has amended its social relief distress guideline on 13 April 2020 for the duration of the declared national disaster and the extension thereof. And its criteria has applied during the duration, and there has been no visible means of support prior 2019 and also the loss of income. So it's clearly given there. So it indicates further to say any individual or family in distress that qualify for ESRD guideline in terms of the lockdown, and also persons and household living below the poverty line of 557 per month, and must be the South African citizen, a permanent resident, or a refugee registered with Home Affairs, and not a resident in government-funded institution. So question 4, what items make up the department's food relief? In order for other words, how much is given in the basket, and how do these individual relief costs? Our response, this basket are identified in terms of your family of 1 person, family of 2 to 4 persons, family of 5 to 8 persons, 9 to 12 persons, and the 13. So the more the familiar, the more the basket is, and it's given there in terms of the items that are provided, in terms of your soya, your tin fish, your sugar beans, your brown sugar, your milk, your rooibos, your tomatoes, just your basic meal, rice, samp, and pears. It is given there. In our basket, we must confirm, Honorable Deputy Speaker, that it is an item that it gives dignity to these members. And there are additional items where people have your special needs in terms of your disposable nappies, your gloves, and other matters. And also is provided with the cereals and bar and some softeners. The 5th question, does the MEC think the quality of items provided is sufficient to sustain the family for the whole month? Our response as a department is that a distinction should be made between a non-disaster and a disaster type of situation. As for the food parcel content situation, they differ. During this disaster, the situation access to services should be fast-tracked, as there is an immediate need for that relief. The quantity of items provided during a non-disaster is outlined there, which are your basics. It is, however, acknowledged that these parcels was initially provided for during the pandemic, but you've got your 10 kg maize meal, your rice, your full cream, your cooking oil, tin fish, sugar beans, and candles, and other basic necessities. And also it's given in terms of other additional, and we have reviewed that in terms of the COVID-19 to give those items. I would not list them, but it's your basic needs, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much. Other matters in detail will be forwarded to the Honorable Member so that they can see the items that are contained. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. Honorable Stolle, do you have a follow-up question? Honorable Stolle, I'm told you are connected.
Covered. The questions were responded to adequately. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you very much, Honorable Stolle. Honorable members, do you have any follow-up question? It seems there's none. Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. We now move to the question that was raised by Honorable Weber to the MEC of Community Safety, Security and Liaison. Over to you, Honorable Shongwe.
Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker, and congratulations to the hot seat. and also to...
Oh, sorry, MEC Weber is not here. I think we will jump the question and you will send the written response. We can take question 36 that have been, the question have been asked by Honorable VF Mlombo to MEC for Finance, Economic and Development and Tourism, Honorable Mkachwa. Over to you, Honorable Mkachwa.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Deputy Speaker, for the opportunity. Honorable V. F. Mlombo, ANC, to ask the MEC of Finance, Economic Development and Tourism. Honorable MEC, you have been hard at work in the month of April in a roadshow to visit business sites of government-funded black industrialists in the province. The first question, can the MEC share some light on some of the key black industrialist business he has visited? The response to that, there are 3 black industrialists which I have visited, and their profiles, they are as follows. The first one is the industrial infrastructure, which is Talisu Holdings, and the project size is over 253 million, which there's a TTIC grant of 50 million, an ITC loan of 154 million. Which is a cost-sharing grant. It is located in Piet Retief at the Mkondo municipality, and Talinsu Holdings was formed as a joint venture between Talinsu Specialty Product, a 100% black-owned company, and Impact to provide dust suppression service to the mining industry and the construction of a high-purity 82 tons daily sulfate plant. And as I've indicated, the directors are 2 African males who are both qualified chemical engineers. It produces the sodium lignosulfate, a dust suppressant obtained from black liquor, which is branded Dust Pact. It has also developed a way to produce sodium sulfate from salt cake, obtained from MPEC's pulping process. It has created 28 direct jobs. The construction of the project was completed in February 2021, and they started production on the 1st of March 2021. Through the construction phase, they were able to create 394 jobs. And the product that they are creating, Deputy Speaker, is a product that we think it can go a long way in assisting, especially in dealing with our road infrastructure projects. The second one is the pulp, paper, and furniture, the FX Group. Also, they've got funding from the ITC and the TTIC, which is a 50 million TTIC grant and the 215 million loan funding from ITC. And they've also put at 90 million of their own contribution. It's a 96% black-owned. It is also located at Lotte, Silindile, at Msuwalikwa municipality. They are adding value in the forestry, laminate foil, foam tops, your UV gloss, acrylic glass, veneer tables. The first phase of the project was completed and it is operational. 460 jobs have been created during construction, with 260 specifically from Silindile community. 202 people currently, as we speak, they are employed, operating on a 4-shift system and running a 24-hour shift operations 7 days a week. The only challenge that they are having is regarding the widening of the access road, which is a provincial road, And in our engagements, they've also indicated their willingness to go on a cost sharing with the provincial government to fixing that road. The third one is the agro processing, Ikwezi Agro Holdings. Also, they've got a grant which is approved of 50 million from the TTIC. They've got a loan approved of 103 million from the IDC. They just need a 6 million funding for so that they're able to unlock these approved both loans and a grant. They allocated at Sikwahlane in the Gomas municipality. The Ikwezi Agro Holdings is 100% black-owned, BE level 1, black-managed company in Gomas with 49% women ownership. The company is a primary vegetable producer and supplier and was approved as part of the Black Industrialist for the expansion to agro-food processing, defined as post-harvest activities involved in the transformation, preservation, and preparation of agricultural production for intermediary or final consumption in the form of food and beverages. The expansion will be both horizontal and vertical, meaning horizontal expansion relates to increasing primary production output from 18 hectares to 167 hectares, and the vertical expansion relates to the agro-processing and packaging. The expansion involves construction of greenhouses, shade nets, a nursery, and a processing plant for fruits and vegetables on site. The second question, what are the areas of support of government offerings to these black industrialists of our province? Honorable Speaker, in 2019, the department has, in collaboration with the TTIC, established a PI steering committee comprising of all development and funding institutions to intervene and offer the necessary co-funding support required. Owing to the outbreak of COVID-19, the committee did not meet as anticipated. However, the steering committee, which has been dysfunctional over time, will be revived by the end of the first quarter of 2022-23 financial year. The department will support the company by facilitating the following. First one, which is the EIA processes, the linking of the PIs with municipalities to facilitate support, facilitating land rezoning discussions with relevant institutions, sharing information with the sector departments so that they can also assist the PIs wherever feasible. For example, the Department of Agriculture, in the case of Ikwezi Agro Holdings, to resolve the issue of land and public works, roads and transport, in terms of pulp and paper and furniture, the FS Group, this is in relation to the widening of the access road. The third question, in the value chain of the main economic drivers of the province, like mining, agriculture, and manufacturing, are these black industrialists helped to benefit in what was monopolized industrial base? The response to that, the PI scheme is supporting the PIs in the manufacturing sectors in line with the IPAP industrialization path as follows: oil and gas, clean technology and energy, mineral beneficiation, agro-processing, clothing, textile, leather and footwear, pulp and paper and furniture, blue ocean economy, chemicals, pharmaceuticals and plastics, nuclear is manufacturing-related logistics, sectors designated for localization, aerospace, rail and automotive components, industrial infrastructure and information communications technologies. And in Mpumalanga, beneficiaries from the PIs are in the manufacturing sector. We've got one in agro-processing, agriculture. In terms of aerospace, we also have one. The chemicals, we have two. Pulp, paper and furniture, which is also falls under agriculture, we also have one. Industrial infrastructure, we've got three. We have got none in mining. And the total is 8 PIs that we have in the province. Talinsu Holding in Piet Retief is currently the only black-owned supplier of detergent-grade sulfate in the country, which demonstrate entry to the previously monopolized industry. The fourth question, what is the role of MEGA in the entire preposition to build a new layer of black industrialists in Mpumalanga? The response to that, MEGA is very critical as the development and funding agency in the province. The gap that exists in co-funding required for the PIs remains one of the critical areas where MEGA will bridge the gap. MEGA has since approved over 326,000 to cover for the land tenure security and the environmental impact assessment that was required by Ikwezi Agro Holding. Of the approved amount, MEGA dispersed 172,500 for the completion of the EIA. The balance could not be dispersed as the land issues could not be resolved through a community resolution. MEGA is critical in building a new layer of black industrialists, particularly those that do not qualify for the grant funding within the DTIC black industrialists. Most of the province are unable to meet the threshold of value of 30 million as required.
Honorable Kajo, can you please take your seat? Honorable Mfukeni, serving in order.
With respect to you, Speaker, can we consider Rule 104, subsection 5? I think the 10 minutes has long passed. Thanks, Speaker.
Conclude, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. As I conclude, I was just indicating that most of the PIs in the province are unable to meet the threshold minimum project value of 30 million as required by the TTIC, yet they remain vital in changing the economic landscape of the rural and township economy in the province. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Honorable Mlombo, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The Honorable MEC have responded comprehensively, but just to indicate that as he was responding, it became clear that the establishment of black industrialists, it's one way of ensuring job creation in the province, because only these three black industrialists, they've created more than 2,000 jobs in the province. So this is a good story to tell, and I would like to encourage the department to ensure that the steering committee is revived, because the steering committee will look across the province and ensure that these black industrialists are established across the province. Thank you very much. We appreciate. Thank you.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Thank you. The next question is from Honorable Klope, the ANC, to ask the MEC for Social Development. Honorable MEC, over to you.
No, thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, and greeting once more again to honorable members. The honorable member from the ANC to ask the MEC for Social Development. In March 2022, social work graduates embark on a mass protest countrywide at the various provincial government headquarters. Amongst their grievances were the following: being hired on a temporary or contract basis and not being remunerated a salary that is earned by graduates that are permanently employed. The first question: can the Honorable MEC take this August House in confidence and outline government's plan on the graduates employed on contract basis? Our response as the department is that our intention was to appoint them permanently. However, due to the financial constraint, the department could not absorb them, let alone extending their contracts. The shortages of this category of employees remains a challenge. We know very well that after we've uplifted the moratorium, we said our priority was to appoint social workers. And another question is question 2. Stats SA recently reported that an increase in unemployment, yet there is a shortage of social workers at the various SASSA offices. And in March 2022, the 6-month contract social work graduate came to an end. When will these graduates be absorbed permanently? And our response as a department is that our intention to appoint them, however, due to the financial cuts, your financial budgetary constraint that the department is facing, we could not absorb them. and we are a bit challenged in that regard due to all the budget cuts that all our departments have experienced. The third question, getting registered electronically with the South African Council for Social Service Profession has been a struggle for social workers in order to get assistance. They must travel to Pretoria. Can the MEC respond to the above? In order to address the challenges relating to the registration or re-registration.
1 moment, I didn't catch that. Could you try again?
The department has taken responsibility to renew the registration of all social workers. This is done annually through the human resource units. The department then deducts the subscription fee from their salaries of social workers. In this way, there is no registration that is lapsing and there is no need for social workers to travel to Pretoria. The fourth question, when is the department planning to address the shortages? These can be done only in terms of when we can request more funding from the National Treasury, as the funding is an issue. The department during the past years has been struggling with the funding, and there's still very little and leaves the department vulnerable, and it impacts negatively in terms of our service delivery and our plans as a department, and largely on the availability of the budget we can appoint, but for now we are really constrained as a department. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Hlophe, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much, Honorable MEC. I'm covered.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Then we'll proceed to the next question. The next question, Honorable G. M. Fukeng, EFF, to ask the MEC for Education. With that one, the Honorable MEC for Education will respond in writing. The next question is from Honorable B. Grobler from the DA to ask the MEC for Agriculture, Rural Development, Land and Environmental Affairs. Over to you, Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Concerning the oral question is from Honorable Grobler. Concerning Communal Property Association, the CPAs in the province, will the MEC answer the following questions? From figure 1, how many registered CPAs do we have in the province? The response, we are having 408 CPAs. Roman figure 2, what is the size of the land which the CPAs owe? The answer is as follows. CPAs in Mpumalanga own 5,090,241 hectares of land. However, some of these hectares have been transferred to trusts. As a result, the department is currently delineating the data accordingly. Out of the 5,090,241 hectares of land owned by CPAs in the province, 1,024,746 hectares are state land that has been disposed to claimants through restitution. 4,009,545 hectares has been restituted from private landowners. The remaining 55,949 hectares was restored through the restitution and tenure reform program. The next question is, do they pay rates and taxes? If so, how much do they pay? The answer is as follows. The different local municipalities are best placed to respond to this question. However, since most of the CPAs are not financially sustainable, they will struggle to pay rates and taxes. The next question, how many of the CPAs in the province are financially sustainable? The answer is as follows. From the assessment of the department, only about 35 CPAs are financially sustainable. The last question is, how many of the CPAs involved local communities in their projects? The answer is as follows. We're not aware of the actual number. Nevertheless, CPAs by their nature are communal property associations that work the land collectively. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Grobler, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Speaker. Thank you to the MEC for reading the answer. The first one is just, if we can just have that answer submitted, because there were some of the numbers that I couldn't write down now. But my answer to my question to the MEC, Speaker, is out of the answer that you gave me and the financial sustainability of the CPAs, do you think the CPA models are working in the province? Thank you, Speaker.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Yes, the model is working because some of the CPAs are using the land accordingly. They are plowing and also they are getting something out of it. However, we need also to assist them and further maybe to add something in terms of providing them with necessary resources. But the model it's functional. Thank you.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Mfokeng.
Thanks, Speaker. The question is the legal battle between the CPA board resolved? Is it resolved up to this stage? And how many title deeds have been issued to the individuals, landowners, from CPA to those communities who own the land? Thanks, sir.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think it will be difficult to answer that one if the Honorable Member is saying that the legal battle is being resolved, because we need to know which legal battle that is talking about, for which CPA, Honorable Chairperson. And because of network, I could not get to the second question. If he may repeat. He just cut while he was asking that question.
The number of title deeds which were handed over by the CPAs to individuals.
Okay. No, thank you very much, Chair. I think if I may be given an opportunity to go back and check that one, I will not give the number out of my head for now. Thank you very much, Speaker.
Thank you, MEC. We'll get those in writing. Then we'll proceed to the next question, which is from Honorable N. Mahlangu from the ANC to ask the MEC for community safety, security, and liaison. Over to you, Honorable MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. In the last question, I was responding to the Deputy Speaker that I was congratulating her for the hot seat. I think the Speaker will pass that for me to the Deputy Speaker and congratulate the Chairperson of the province of the ANC, Mr. Mandla Ndlovu. Coming to the questions, the road policing is important in contributing to road safety, which is correct. It also makes commuters and motorists to feel safe every time they are on the road and has the potential to substantially contribute to economic growth, which is very correct. Reports have surfaced that road spiking incidents are increasing in N4 within Nkomazi, specifically near Hector's Parade, putting the lives of motorists and commuters in danger. And the question is the MEC aware of the incident of the spiking on the N4? And the direct response is that, yes, I'm aware of it and where it took place. And I must indicate that these incidences are condemned as it does not affect the innocent victim, but has a potential to affect trade and economic development in the form of tourism in the Nkomazi area and the entire province. Can the MEC briefly explain the strategy that will be implemented by the department in dealing with this new trend? And the direct response is that the South African Police Service is conducting focused patrol on N4. These patrols are done by the members deployed at stations, as well as the provincial flying squad that are specifically focusing on the main routes used by not only tourists and people from the country, but also for domestic and foreign trade. During the Easter weekend, SAPS had several blocks, roadblocks on the road, on N4 in particular, to ensure the safety of the road users. SAPS Komati Port also managed to identify, trace and arrest the suspect on one of the spiking cases. And we have a case in Komati Port Police Station, which is case number 44 of the 4th month 2022, where the victim was murdered. Can the MEC indicate if such a matter is being considered by justice and crime prevention and security? And the direct response is that yes, all serious crimes, especially crimes which have a potential of impacting on the economic growth of the province, the country and Southern African Development Community, which is commonly known as SADC, are discussed by the JCPS to ensure trends are communicated and solutions can be found. What role can the community play in this regard to mitigate such incidents on road spiking? The direct response is that communities are invited to partner with SAPS and law enforcement agencies in the fight against crime by providing any relevant crime information, including suspected movement of people next to the main routes, as well as any information that will assist in identifying and arresting perpetrators. The community was also warned not to take matters into their own hands, as these criminals are dangerous and usually are armed to the teeth. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Mahlangu, do you have a follow-up question?
Fast.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. Let me welcome the responses from the Honorable MEC, and I would request the MEC maybe to provide the number where we can contact them for the last question. Thank you.
Honorable MEC.
Indeed, to do that, Honorable Speaker.
You'll send it in writing. Thank you. Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Thank you. The next question is from Honorable GP Mashego from the ANC to ask the MEC for human settlement. Over to you, Honorable Shongwe.
Thank you very much, Honourable Speaker, once again. The question comes from Honourable Mashego to the MEC for Human Settlement. As part of government's drive to find lasting solutions to human settlement challenges including reducing backlog in the delivery of houses. The MEC for Human Settlement handed over the Integrated Rural Development Program in the city of Mbombela, Ward 18, Tekwane South, Extension 2, to beneficiaries. In the light of the above, can the Honorable MEC explain to this August House that how many beneficiaries were given houses in that area? And the response is as follows. The project comprised of 208 houses, of which 200 are low-cost houses and 8 are military veterans houses. 2, is the Honorable MEC aware that some of the houses were fraudulently sold to other people who are not intended beneficiaries? The response is yes, the MEC is aware of these activities and there has been engagements and on the site meetings with the community and the municipality in an ongoing attempt to resolve these matters. 3, how many service sites, business stands are expected to be built in the current financial year? The answer is as follows. The department has serviced 732 stands as per the surveyor's general approved layout plan. Churches and creches, 16 stands. Bus terminal and taxi rank, 1 stand. Business, 1 stand. Residential stands, 700. Public open spaces, 14 stands. 4, can the Honorable MEC take this House into confidence that all the corrupt issues of selling and awarding wrongful beneficiaries by the officials have been successfully resolved? If not, why? And the answer is the matter has been discussed with the municipality and it is an ongoing process, and the MEC and the department are continuing to deal with such issues. And once the matter has been finalized, the MEC will submit a report to the Portfolio Committee. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honorable Mashego, do you have a follow-up question?
No, Honorable Speaker, I'm comfortable. We'll take the matter further up with the relevant MEC.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Thank you, Honorable MEC. The next question is from Honorable T. M.J. Khrovie Morgan from the DA to ask the MEC for Public Works, Roads and Transport. Honorable MEC, over to you.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. The question from Honorable T.M. Khrovie Morgan reads as follows. With regards to the upgrading of Makoko Bridge on Road D2968, where the bridge, resurfacing of the road, stormwater drainage, guardrails, stone pitching, as well as planting of grass, can the Honorable MEC please indicate the following? Can the Honorable MEC state, from the inception of the above project in April 2016, how many contractors have been appointed and why? Our response, Honorable Speaker, is 3 contractors have been engaged directly by the department as follows. Nsagalala Holdings, appointed for the construction of the bridge and the upgrading from gravel to tar. They approached roads over the period April 2016 and October 2019. During the construction, Nsagala subcontracted some portions of the specialized works through sessions, which assisted the contractor's cash flow, as well as subcontractors paid directly by the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport. Kabeshe Joint Venture, a term contractor from the department's database, was appointed to carry out erosion protection works which had been omitted in the original construction contract because of the limited construction budget. The original construction budget allocation from the disaster grant was meant only for replacing the culvert that had been washed away during the floods of the 2013-2014 rain season. The department, however, made a decision to instead upgrade the bridge so that in the event of the above normal rainfall, the river crossing structure would not be washed away again. Kabeshe JV were appointed for the period October 2020 to March 2021, but due to various delays, mainly as a result of community work disruptions, contractor cash flow and capacity challenges, only completed their work in March 2022. The next contractor is Mvuno, was appointed to provide paved walkways after a community requested through the traditional leadership of the area. They were appointed from December 2021 and February 2022 and completed their project as per the time frame. With regards to the establishment of the site office, can the department state which contractor was to establish the site office and at what cost, and was this amount paid in full? Our response, Honourable Speaker, each of the three contractors had to make provision for their own site accommodation, that is offices and construction camp for their personnel, plant and equipment storage, and all three contractors were compensated fully for their establishment on site, and each selected their own preferred site. It must be noted, Honourable Speaker, that the construction site offices and site camps are meant to be temporary and only utilized for the duration of the construction period. At completion of the construction, the contractor will de-establish from the site or the camp. The total cost paid out by Nsagalala Holdings was 61,047,617.45, and this amount was paid in full. For Gabeshe JV, an amount of 4,199,365.55 was paid in full, and a total of 400,000 was paid to Imvuno. The next question with regards to the most recent project on this road, which included the stone pitching, guardrails, stormwater drainage, and planting of grass. Can the MEC state who was the contractor appointed, what did this cost, and the contractor paid in full? Our response is Gabeshe JV was appointed to carry out the erosion protection works, which included stone pitching, guardrails, and road markings. The total cost for the works was 4,199,365.55, and the full amount has been paid to the contractor. The next question, Honourable Speaker, did anyone from the department or any professional sign off the work done? Our response is the works were supervised and monitored by the department's construction project manager, who was supported by the department's program management unit, which is an external service provider that is a consulting project management firm. And they both signed off the completion certificate. Honourable Speaker, the next question reads, does the department have any agreement with contractors that use SMMEs to withhold final payments so that if the contractor does not pay the SMMEs, the department can assist in this regard? Our response, Honourable Speaker, is the department does not have any agreement with contractors regarding payment of SMMEs, but expects and instructs the contractors to pay all their suppliers and subcontractors, including SMMEs, what is due, in time as per the parties' contractual agreements. The department pays contractors as per the contract conditions between the department and the contractor, but the department is not part of the contracts between the contractor and their suppliers, subcontractors, and labor. The department, however, does occasionally receive complaints of contractors not paying suppliers and subcontractors, including SMMEs, and in turn put pressures on the contractors to pay up. If the department's intervention is not achieving the desired result, then the creditors are advised to recoup their money through legal or other acceptable means. I thank you, Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Morgan, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honourable Speaker. I would like to thank the MEC for the response. Honourable Speaker, I would request through you, Honourable Speaker, if the House can ask maybe the chairperson for Public Works to go and do oversight on this work, because if the official that signed off this type of work is still working in that department, Honorable Speaker, I'm sorry to say it. I've never seen such poor work. All those trenches and for water has been falling apart, and the bridge is not even yet handed over. So I request through the House MEC, Honorable Speaker, that we go and do oversight at this bridge ASAP, because the money paid there is not worth the job that's been done. I thank you.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Thank you, MEC. The next question is from Honorable JL Tabete from the ANC to ask the MEC for health. Honorable MEC, over to you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. A question from Honorable JL Tabete to ask the MEC of Health. In November 2020, the Honorable Premier, Mary Philom Tsipane, unveiled 67 ambulances in order to ease the burden on the shortage of ambulances in the province. Latest reports indicate that there is a shortage of ambulances in the province. The first question, what has led to the crisis of shortage of ambulances in the province? The department has consistently been reporting the average number of operational ambulances at 72 to the Health and Social Development Portfolio Committee, and the department acknowledges that we do not have the required number of ambulances as per the norms and standards. The ambulances that were bought replaced the over-mile age vehicles that were no longer safe to be used, hence the shortage. What is the total number of ambulances we are expected to have as a province? The second question. In terms of the national norms and standards, for every 10,000 people, there should be one operational ambulance. Mpumalanga province population is approximately 4.6 million, according to statistics, South Africa's media population estimates 2020. In terms of the information given above, the province should have 460 operational ambulances, and the province has been operating on an average of 72 ambulances per month and has never been closer to the required number of ambulances. At some stage, 98 ambulances were in operation, utilizing overtime, which was not suitable. And operational ambulances is one that is mechanically sound and ready to convey patient instantaneously. Having two staff members, of which one must have a minimum of intermediate life support or ambulance emergency assistance qualification as per the emergency medical services regulation. Both crew members must assess, treat, and monitor the patients en route to the hospital, whilst one must drive the ambulance. Equipped to the level of intermediate life support as per the emergency medical service regulation. In addition to operational ambulances, the department must have pool ambulances, and the latter must be one for every 5 of the former. A pool ambulance is required for the following: to cater for ambulances on scheduled maintenance, to cater for ambulances for repairs, and to cater for ambulances involved in accidents, to cater for ambulances stood down for disinfection and deep cleaning. Operational ambulances, the department has been replacing ambulances all these past years and not increasing the number. The following major factors contributing to the status of the provincial ambulances fleet: 24-hour operation. The available ambulances are running on a continuous basis, therefore accumulating kilometers quickly. Ambulances operate 24 hours under different terrain. That leads to a shortened lifespan of the vehicle. Multiple drivers, because of the nature of emergency medical services being 24 hours and needed daily ambulances personnel, work shift and they hand over the ambulances to the next crew on a rotational basis. Driver behavior indifferent, leading to reduction in the lifespan of the ambulances. Many patients in Mpumalanga health facilities are transferred to institutions of higher care within the province, and mostly Gauteng healthcare facilities covering an average distance of 1,800 kilometers in 24-hour daily. Ambulances accumulate high kilometers that necessitate frequent service, and this leads to non-availability of that ambulance. How many ambulances that are in good condition? The third question: how many ambulances that are in good condition that the department is currently we have got 172 and are distributed as follows. Ehlanzeni 54, Garsibande 57, Gangala 61. Does the department have a replacement of an ambulance in an unfortunate event where an ambulance has been damaged beyond repair? Currently not, however, the department has plans to have pool ambulances as mentioned above. The department has grouped the available ambulances to those that are the specification, fair, all forms are identified as comprehensive repair to the pool and also hospitalization for patients that are not stretched only. This vehicle will be assessed. Those that are thought they can be repaired will fall into patient transport services for patients that do not need acute care for stretcher only. The remainder will be bought and be prepared for auctioning. The department is collecting information from third parties where an ambulance is involved in a collision with the latter so as to claim for replacement of reasonable recovery amount from third parties. The measures above will address the unfortunate event of ambulances that are being written off in accident. The last question, if the reports on the shortage of ambulances are true, how is the department planning to speedily address the crisis? The department plans to have a baseline of 120 operational ambulances. The department has planned to at least procure 10 ambulances annually starting from this financial year after all these ambulances that we've been buying in the previous financial years. Thank you very much, Honorable Chair.
Honorable Tabete, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I think MEC has answered the question accurately. So just a comment that sometimes it's not really that the ambulance are short. The thing is that most of the time you'll find that the roads are not fixed. Now the ambulance to reach the people that need those assistance by then, you'll find that the ambulance is coming very late and then people will keep on phoning. Although there is shortage of ambulance, but the department is striving to try all the level best to assist the community, and hopeful the plan that is put by the MEC in place is going to assist a lot. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker and Honorable MEC.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Honorable Mfokeng.
Thanks, Speaker. The question to, just a clarity to the MEC. The organogram per district, the district manager, is she or he in charge of the reporting lines to the ambulance sector? Why I'm saying that is because we raised a question with the district manager at Garsibande where the ambulance was seen in a soccer field where the driver was playing soccer last weekend. Even this weekend, you'll see that. So the last question is that, is consequence management followed up with the ambulances operation within the province? Thanks, Speaker.
Honorable MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Tabete and Honorable Mufokeng for the question. Yes, the district manager is in charge of all the managers in that particular district. So I'm surprised that the district manager in Garsibande will be found wanting in terms of accountability for the managers that are reporting to herself. So, and over and above that, there is a manager at the provincial office that oversees all the managers in the Directorate of EMS. So I will do a follow-up in terms of that, and I'll get information from Honorable Mufukeng, which spot ground where ambulances, when we are in shortage of ambulances and there are people who go and park somewhere that they're not supposed to. So it's something that I'll do a follow-up if I can get more information about that. Sometimes we can even take a picture so that we know exactly the ambulance and the person will be able to trace who was on duty during that time, so that indeed consequence management and people must be disciplined if the limited resources that we are having are not utilized for the intended purposes. It's something that we'll want the information and do a follow-up and deal with it, Honorable Speaker. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable MEC. Honorable Member, some incidents are very urgent. We must not wait for the sitting so that the MEC can account. We must also communicate with the relevant MECs so that our communities can get better services. Is there any follow-up question? Then the next question is from Honorable Tia Makaringi from the ANC to ask the MEC for Finance, Economic Development and Tourism. Over to you, MEC.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Tia Makaringi from the ANC to ask the MEC of Finance, Economic Development and Tourism. Our province is gradually recovering from the COVID-19 economic turmoil, which adversely affected the tourism sector as well. The first question, given the massive scale of tourist interest to flock to Mpumalanga, what measures are put in place to create economic spin-off for our local SMMEs in the tourism industry? The response is that the department, through the MTPA and the municipalities, has exposed 28 tourism product owners and tour operators to Africa's Travel Indaba to exhibit their products and create market linkages with tour operators from other tourism environments. The department, through the MTPA, will soon host a tour operator roundtable to measure the scale of demand and devise strategies to give the tourist a lasting experience. The roundtable networking session will also include and seek to influence redevelopment of packages that will include township and rural tourism. The session will ensure that the rural and township tourism businesses are brought into the mainstream tourism sector so as to benefit from the economic spin-off emanating from the tourists that are visiting Mpumalanga province. Number two, regarding the bad state of roads, especially potholes when driving to key tourism sites in the province, like the road to Creek Falls, the God's Window, and the Three Rondavels, what is the department doing to pressurize the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport to fix these roads? The response, the department is in consistent engagement with the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport and the municipalities to prioritize the roads leading to the tourist destinations in the province. As a result, the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport has prioritized key tourism roads, including the panorama route, as reported under question subsection 2 above, as asked by Honorable B. Krobler. Some roads have been maintained through patchwork while others are being upgraded. The MEC is planning a MEC that will include all municipalities to have a discussion on road maintenance of municipal roads and development of tourism products along the tourism routes. The second question, when visiting some of the amazing key tourist sites in the province, there is an absence of education on the tour through tourist guides. Is there a plan by the department to employ tour guides who will educate our tourists? The response to that question is that the MTPA in its key tourist attraction areas does have tourist guides whose role is to educate the tourist while visiting the state-owned attraction areas. However, the tourist guiding subsector is a privately run business. As a result, the MTPA does on an annual basis keep and update a register of tourist guides to ensure compliance with the tourism regulations. Notably, the MTPA provides training to facilitate entry of new aspirant tour guides and also upskill existing tour guides through capacity building programs. During the 2021 financial year, 1,200 tour guides were enrolled in the tour guide program funded by the National Department of Tourism. However, only 454 qualified as tour guides. With the vast tourism sector in the province, the number of registered tour guides are not adequate for the demand. Other qualified tour guides pursue different career paths after getting registered as tour guides. This reduces the same number of tour guides which we are so in need of. The department will foster a relationship between tour operators and tour guides that will ensure a memorable experience of the tourist. The provision of tourism safety monitors by the Department of Community Safety, Security and Liaison in the key tourism attraction sites of the province is very critical. As part of their activities is to guide and provide interpretation of the tourism offerings. The fourth question, what is the department's plan to upscale local tourism in Mpumalanga? And the response to that, the COVID-19 pandemic has taught us a lesson to always invest mainly on the local tourism development. In this regard, the department has prioritized key products for implementation, namely the Skywalk, mining tourism, as well as convening Mpumalanga Tourism Investment Conference, which is planned for the third quarter of the 2022-23 financial year. The department has also prioritized the rural and township tourism activities to ensure that our local people know and experience the tourism offerings in their backyard. The province has put together a domestic tourism campaign plan for the township and rural tourism market. The campaigns will take place as part of the winter and festive season marketing initiatives and will be conducted in collaboration with the regional and local tourism organizations and the 3 district municipalities. The province will host the Provincial World Tourism Day during the September Tourism Month celebrations. Key figures, celebrities, bloggers, and influencers will be invited to the events to improve the interest. These activities will further create awareness to local tourism to actively participate and benefit from the economic activities. The department, Honorable Speaker, has also facilitated the revival of the Triland initiative to ensure that the region continue to promote itself as a regional destination of choice. The MTPA, with its partners, Eswatini and Mozambique tourism agencies in the Triland initiative, have signed and revised an MOU to improve the activation of this regional tourism route. The revised areas of focus include joint marketing of the region, facilitation of trade promotion within the region, lobby and advocate for the upgrading of major trade routes and road networks, as well as the trade and investment promotion. Key activities prioritized for the 2022-23 financial year are to activate the Thailand region and encourage domestic tourism trips within the cross-border route, which are the Eswatini, Bushfire, Mozambique, and Mpumalanga Expos. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Makarene, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I think the MEC has responded to all the questions very well.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Thank you, Honorable MEC. The next question is from Honorable TMJ Javier Morgan from the Democratic Alliance to ask the MEC for Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. Over to you, MEC.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. The question from Honorable Robe is as follows. Honorable MEC, the current load reduction strategy, which is being implemented by ESCOM, is having dire consequences on many residents in the province, particularly on small businesses. Given the above analogy, will the MEC answer the following questions? How many of our municipalities in the province are plagued by ESCOM's load reduction strategy? The response is as follows. There are 6 municipalities which include City of Mbombela, Bushbuck Ridge, Nkomazi, Dr. J.S. Moroka, Tembisilehani, and Emalahleni, where ESCOM is implementing its load reduction strategy. However, there are other municipalities which include Msuka Likwa, Dipaliseng, Governormbeki, and Mkondo, where municipalities are implementing load reduction due to notified maximum demand exceedances. It is important to highlight that the ESCOM load reduction strategy applies in areas serviced by ESCOM, not areas serviced by municipalities. Load reduction in municipalities happens when the notified maximum demand is exceeded. And the next question is, what are the main reasons behind the implementation of the load reduction strategy in the above municipalities? And could this be further affected by high electricity distribution losses? The response is as follows. The main reason ESCOM is implementing load reduction in the municipalities where it supplies electricity is that the network infrastructure becomes at risk of collapse whenever it is overloaded. ESCOM also indicated that the overloading of the network has the potential to cause explosion of transformers and mini substations. As a consequence, the load has to be reduced in order to avoid the overload. This is done by switching off electricity where there is abnormal consumption at a given time. This overloading is also caused by the fact that there are municipalities that are operating beyond the available notified maximum demand. In this case, once allocated NMD is reached, the power switch off. Hence, municipalities are forced to implement their own load reduction. Yes, indeed, electricity distribution losses have an effect on overloading, resulting in load reduction. The electricity distribution losses include electricity that is not being accounted for, either through theft or through slippage in the conductors. Illegal electricity connection is theft. If a municipality has high distribution losses, it means there are illegal connections that are consuming a lot of electricity and hence overloading of the network. The next question is, of the above mentioned municipalities, have any tried to liaise with ESCOM to limit the implementation of the load reduction? If so, which are these municipalities and what was the outcome? Responses is as follows. Municipalities have tried to engage with ESCOM on both load reduction and load shedding. These municipalities include Mkondo, Emalahleni, Likwa, Dipaliseng, Msuka Likwa, Governormbeki, and Thabachweu. Municipalities such as Emalahleni and Dipaliseng, after engaging and agreeing with ESCOM, are implementing projects to address the issue of increasing the notified maximum demand. However, in municipalities such as Mkondo, Msuka Likwa, and Likwa, ESCOM has submitted quotation on increasing the notified maximum demand to these municipalities, subject to the condition they should first pay their ESCOM debt. The inability of municipalities to settle their ESCOM debt makes it difficult for ESCOM to increase their NMD. Hence, the condition of settling ESCOM debt in exchange for increasing NMD in Mkondo, Msuka Likwa, and Likwa. Important to note is that in 2021, ESCOM agreed to increase NMD to improve supply of electricity in Mzinoni and Bethel. The Governormbeki municipality has submitted a new application to ESCOM for a further increase. In City of Mbombela, Bushbuck Ridge, Nkomazi, Dr. J.S. Moroka, and Tembisilehani, municipalities, particularly where ESCOM is licensed a supplier of electricity, The issue is on illegal connections. Efforts are being made by ESCOM, supported by municipal leadership, to address the illegal connections causing threats to the network. The next question, does the MEC know of the impact of the load reduction on various small businesses and food stalls in the province? Response, yes. The MEC is aware of the impact of load reduction on various small businesses. Load reduction entails the switching off and on of power. This is not good for the equipment in the household and businesses, as the equipment is prone to damage due to electricity surges that are experienced in the switching off and on of power. Business is affected in the sense that a lot of businesses do need electricity in order for them to function. Whenever there is no electricity, some businesses stop operations, while some incur a lot of cost on diesel for generations as alternative energy. The next question, what will the MEC do to ensure a limitation of the load reduction strategy and to ensure that electricity distribution losses are lowered in order to keep municipalities within the notified maximum demand? The response is as follows. The department, together with the BSA, are currently rolling out the following programs in the municipalities that can assist in alleviating the load reduction. Master planning. The master planning program to assist the municipality to check the status of their network and plan for future. These identify projects that need to be executed in order to increase the infrastructure capacity and to expand the network. Ultimately, the program will reduce the number of illegal connections, thereby lowering the electricity losses. The municipalities are being targeted this year are Governor's Victor Kanye, Emakazini, and Tembisile. On asset care, this program will assist the municipality in monitoring the condition of their assets regularly and to maintain them. For four municipalities, that is Tabachwewu, Governor's, Emalahleni, and Ligwa, are targeted this year for implementation of this program. On revenue enhancement, this program will assist municipalities on how to improve on the reduction of energy losses and maximize the collection of revenue. The municipalities that will receive this assistance first are Sugaligwa, Emalahleni, Bombela, and Tabachwewu. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Morgan, do you have a follow-up question?
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm satisfied with the response. It's just one addition I would like to add on is I would like the Honorable MEC to please monitor when it comes to assisting the municipalities on the illegal connections, because we have a bylaw unit in the municipalities which is actually non-functional. This is supposed to be their duty to make sure that illegal connections are curbed. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Are there follow-up questions from other honorable members? Thank you, Honorable MEC. We have come to the end of our question time. The Secretary shall read the fourth order of the day.
Order number 4, consideration of reports of the Portfolio Committee on Education, Culture, Sports and Recreation. 4.1, oversight visit conducted on Seme Secondary School at Emelocher Sibande District on the 23rd of March 2022, Department of Education. 4.2, unannounced oversight visit conducted at Emakazeni Boarding School in Emakazeni Local Municipality on the 22nd of February 2022, Department of Education. 4.3, unannounced oversight visit conducted on the High Altitude Center Training Center at Emakazeni Local Municipality on the 22nd of February 2022, Department of Culture, Sports and Recreation. 4.4, third quarterly performance report for 2021-22 financial year, Department of Culture, Sports and Recreation. 4.5, third quarterly performance report for 2021-22 financial year, Department of Education. 4.6, third quarterly performance report for 21-22 financial year, Mpumalanga Regional Training Trust.
I now call upon the chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Education, Culture, Sport and Recreation, Honorable P.S. Ngomane, to table the reports.
Thank you, Speaker, for the opportunity. I table the report for this August House to approve it. Thank you.
I am informed that there is no debate on these reports. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the reports as tabled by Honorable Ngomane. Agreed to? As so agreed. The Secretary shall read the fifth order of the day.
Order number 5, consideration of reports of the Select Committee on Public Accounts on audit outcomes for 2020-2021 financial year. 5.1, audit outcomes for the Office of the Premier. 5.2, audit outcomes for the Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature. 5.3, audit outcomes for the Department of Public Works, Roads and Transport. 5.4, audit outcomes for the Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. 5.5, audit outcomes for the Mpumalanga Regional Training Trust. 5.6, audit outcomes for the Department of Education. 5.7, audit outcomes for the Department of Economic Development and Tourism. 5.8, audit outcomes for the Mpumalanga Economic Growth Agency.
I have received an apology from Honorable Hlope, and I will now call upon the Honorable F.V. Mlombo to table the reports.
Honourable Speaker, thank you very much. I table the report on behalf of the Select Committee as presented for adoption by the House. Thank you.
I am informed that there is no debate on these reports. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the reports as tabled by Honorable Mlombo. Agreed to? As so agreed. The Secretary shall read the sixth order of the day.
Order number 6, consideration of reports of the Portfolio Committee on Premier's Office, Finance, Economic Development and Tourism. 6.1, third quarterly performance report for the 2021-22 financial year, Mpumalanga Economic Regulator. 6.2, third quarterly performance report for the 2021-22 financial year, Mpumalanga Tourism and Parks Agency. 6.3, third quarterly performance report for 2021-22 financial year, Department of Economic Development and Tourism. 6.4, third quarterly performance report for 2021-22 financial year, Mpumalanga Economic Growth Agency. 6.5, third quarterly performance report for 21-22 financial year, Provincial Treasury.
I now call upon the Honorable Tia Makaringi, the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Premise Office, Finance, Economic Development and Tourism, to table these reports.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. On behalf of the Portfolio Committee, I rise to request the House to adopt this report. Thank you.
I am informed that there is no debate on these reports. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt these reports as tabled by Honorable Makaringi. Agreed to? As so agreed. The Secretary shall read the seventh order of the day.
Order number 7, consideration of a report of the Portfolio Committee on Health and Social Development on the third quarterly performance report for 21-22 financial year, Department of Health.
I now call upon the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Health and Social Development, Honorable J.L. Thabete, to table the report.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I request the House to adopt the report as tabled.
I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the report as tabled by Honorable Tabete. Agreed to? So agreed. The Secretary shall read the 8th order of the day.
Order number 8, consideration of reports of the Portfolio Committee on Human Settlements, Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. 8.1, third quarterly performance report for 2021-22 financial year, Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs. 8.2, third quarterly performance report for 2021-22 financial year, Department of Human Settlements. 8.3, oversight visit conducted at Bushbuck Ridge Local Municipality on the 9th of February 2022, Department of Human Settlement. 8.4, oversight visit conducted at the Hlanzeni District on the 9th of February 2022, Department of Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs.
I now call upon the Chairperson of the Portfolio Committee on Human Settlement, Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs, Honorable Jesse Shabalala, to table the reports.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I rise on behalf of the Portfolio Committee to request the House to adopt the report as they were tabled. Thank you.
I am informed that there is no debate on these reports. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt the reports as tabled by Honorable Shabalala. Agreed to? As so agreed. The Secretary shall read the 9th order of the day.
Order number 9, consideration of a report of the Select Committee on Legislature Oversight on the third quarterly performance report for 2021-22 financial year, Mpumalanga Provincial Legislature.
I now call upon the Chairperson of the Select Committee on Legislature Oversight, Honorable Evim Lombo, to table the report.
Honourable Speaker, I table the report for consideration by the House. Thank you very much.
I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt this report as tabled by Honorable Mlombo. Agreed to? As so agreed. The Secretary shall read the 10th order of the day.
Order number 10, consideration of a report of the Select Committee on Women, Youth, Children, and People with Disabilities, Public Participation, Petitions and Members' Legislative Proposal on the Youth Parliament held on the 18th of June, 2021.
I now call upon the Chairperson of the Select Committee on Women, Youth, Children, and People with Disability, Public Participation, Petitions and Members' Legislative Proposal, Honorable G.P. Mashego, to table the report.
Honorable Speaker, ke ema mo pele ga ntwe tlhompegao gore amogele raporoto e.
I am informed that there is no debate on this report. Now the question before the House is whether we agree to adopt these reports as tabled by Honorable Mashego. Agreed to? As so agreed. That brings us to the end of today's business. You are all requested to remain standing at your places until the procession has left the chamber. The House is adjourned until Friday, the 13th of May 2022 at 10 o'clock at Dr. Pixliga Isakaseme Local Municipality in Daghekra.